Ravanna was once a proud land, home to honorable warriors, brilliant scholars, and just rulers. But decades of war have left the kingdom depleted and vulnerable, ripe for the picking for those ambitious enough to seize it. This was before the death of the king. In his absence, greedy men have become emboldened. This only worsened when Prince Edmund, their only heir, refused to take the throne at a time of war. His sister Lelena would rule in his stead until such a time when the war was won or a peace could be broken. What comes next is a matter of great debate and countless rumors, but what we know for certain is within months Lelena was married. A man named Erlich, who was of minor nobility and far from a suitable match for the standing queen, was quickly crowned, and Edmund's throne was usurped. In the years that followed, Ravanna has crumbled from within. Corruption runs rampant, fighting between noble houses threatens to tear the kingdom apart, and word from the capital is Erlich's parties grow increasingly decadent. The king is either blissfully unaware or indifferent to the state of Ravanna. This is a time for either heroes or villains to rise. A kingdom lies in the balance. Which way will the scales tip? Hey everybody, we're live here with Ravanna here on Friday Night D&D.
Woo woo! Hello.
All we've come up with so far is that Cleveland is not on the coast.
It's not on the coast.
Regardless of how you.
I've been told by some people. So according to some people.
It's not a matter of opinion.
Yeah, no, it's
on the coast.
It's not like, where is Ohio? Well, in my opinion, it's right here.
Even flat earthers would agree that Cleveland is land.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because like the whole north of Ohio, it's connected to water.
But it's not an ocean.
Bullshit.
It's a lake.
No, it's not an ocean. It's a Great Lake.
Doesn't count. It's not a fucking coast.
There's islands in it.
You know how great a lake is? Not so great that it counts as an ocean.
I think if there's islands,
not even any salt.
If there's islands, they are salt water. What are you talking about?
They're
Aren't
salt water? No, they're fresh water.
No, they're fresh water.
No, you're right.
You're right.
You're right. They're fresh water.
Now I don't even think
Michigan
you're really from
is not a coastal state. In Alberta, Canada, or whatever the fuck it is.
You're avoiding drinking water all that time.
If all the oceans were suddenly no longer salt water, they would cease to be coasts.
Yeah, it'd be lakes, big lakes.
Yeah, there's big lakes, and we wouldn't count them.
Good to know.
You're right.
Good to know. If I'm doing trivia, I've got that answer ready. It's locked right there.
It's the Red Sea you were next to. It was a lake.
Anyway, we're here to play some Dungeons and Dragons, y'all.
Yeah.
With no dungeons or dragons.
Or dragons. We're gonna So what are we doing?
Yeah. There's a pond near this village, so I guess it is coastal.
There you go. See?
There's a well. Does that count?
That well counts, yeah.
Has a well.
Only for the area directly around the well.
Yeah,
so
but the lake underneath them is huge. So
Yeah.
they're just above this underground lake. So it's coastal.
It's coastal of a sort.
I just found out that there's not.
I was just gonna say it's a topical coast.
So what were you saying, Josh?
I just found out that there's neither dungeons nor dragons, so I think I'm out.
Right. The only dragons are actually in dungeons, but it's a different kind of dungeon, and it's exactly what you think.
Sometimes the dragons are our feelings.
They're wearing leather.
When we're feeling low or self-conscious, and we have to overcome those dragons.
Oh, metaphorical dragons.
Yeah.
Imaginary.
Right. Sometimes dragons are poverty.
It's only natural.
Or an illness that.
Did you
We don't have those problems on the coast.
Hey, Lord Gasumba.
Looking at me like I'm radioactive or something.
We're just gonna play right through 8
We're
a.m.
not going.
tomorrow
We're not
morning.
going to sleep, Jay.
Nah.
He's over here referencing Imagine Dragons. Like,
You guys just missed 7 Imagine Dragon puns.
We
and
did.
they
We
were
missed
not
it
good.
completely. We just ignored them. All right, so why don't we do something?
Yeah, all right. I'm Jairus. I DM. I tell the story. I haven't killed anybody yet, so there's that.
In this episode,
Yeah.
season 1.
Also, he hasn't
Somebody
killed
died, right?
anyone in the game.
No, it's season 1. Somebody died, I think, right?
Season 1.
More, I don't know.
They've all died.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, technically they all died. So
Yeah,
you know.
season 1. I don't know what we call that. I just pretend it doesn't happen. It didn't happen, except for the Talmiran, old Canute.
When we will see him again.
Yeah, no, so I'm DMing a game. I don't know. I hope you like it if you're tuning in, and let's get this bitch underway. Jake, who are you? What do you do?
I'm Bjorn Twice Crusher. Crusher. If I could talk, it'd be way better.
You should have done your
that's why
vocal
it's talk.
warm-ups like I suggested before we went on.
I actually probably should have, but
I want to reincarnate you in the exact same body, but just like a super bardy bard, and you'll be Bjorn Twice Talker.
that would make sense.
Sorry.
The bard with a stutter.
But
I like it.
for the most part, I'm just kind of the typical dwarf. I do dwarf things and take it away someone else.
There you go.
Wow, there's a segue.
I'll go to
My
Will.
name is Will. I play a very emotionally centered individual by the name of Brother Radek. He's a priest of Amon. He grew up on the coast. You know, he's a good guy, and he's trying to keep these guys in order and in line for stop them from killing people unnecessarily.
Our next stream is just going to be a geography lesson.
I will win.
It's not a
He will win
competition.
the
It's
geography lesson.
you can't win a lesson. Just like Cleveland is not on the coast, you can't win a lesson.
Sure you can. If you retain the most knowledge or spew forth the most knowledge in the lesson, you win.
Oh,
You win.
all right, let's move on.
I guess I'll go. I'm Josh. I play the orc. It's a big old Goliath. Doesn't understand social functions at all. Also, I like
That's the reason for Radek.
All right, you're up, Adam.
Hey, everybody. I'm Adam. I'm playing Alistair Grant the Bard. I'm a little fired up tonight, if you can't tell. I was in a good mood until we put Cleveland on the East Coast.
It's all over.
That's the line for me.
Yeah. I
Yes,
was
all-
going
and
to
all
say
my-
you were experiencing all that fun-loving Floridian coastline, and that's,
Yeah.
So is like the coast only on one side of Florida? Because the other side's a Gulf. Is it?
There are
Gulf?
two coasts and salt water. It still
Oh,
counts.
that's right. Saltwater.
Right. Peninsulas have two coasts.
Okay.
Cleveland doesn't have any coasts because it's fucking landlocked.
It's not landlocked. It's got coastline up north. It's on that great lake. It's not just a lake. They put a great in front of it.
Which of the Great Lakes is it?
Erie.
Erie?
The
Erie's
most
a
How
pretty
many
good.
Great
Erie's a
Lakes
pretty
does it
good
take
lake.
to make an ocean?
I mean, Erie's a pretty good lake, but it's still
It
not.
is.
It's still not the East Coast though, because the
No,
lake is
definitely not.
above. That's north, and there's no North Coast unless you're in Canada.
So what I'm hearing right now is Will is talking about like a 6-year-old who could fight really well and being like, yeah, we can fight really well. But then there's like grown men, and then like that's the distinction between a big lake and an ocean is a grown man and a
I'm just
6-year-old.
saying,
It's not a
I
person.
will.
what I've heard.
I will fight any 6-year-old you want to put in front of me.
Right? Like he can be.
He could be a black belt in karate.
I
I don't-
don't.
yeah.
In the world, bring him on. Give him a
I don't-
knife. Let's do this.
Yeah, I don't. I know this is like borderline child abuse.
You slit a mouse's throat. I watched
I
you.
couldn't punch a kid.
I don't know if we should talk about that in the stream.
Long in the house.
Yeah, the ASPCA is coming for us as well as Child Protective Services.
Yeah,
so
no,
what happened last
You'd
time?
like
What
to
happened?
sponsor us.
All right, we gotta get this underway before.
Yeah, what happened last
Yeah.
time?
It was way off the rails. What happened last time? So the guys high off there, taking a fort and now have to find their way back into the civilized world, came to the village of Coster's Bend. And it's on the side of a main road going through Hayfeld, kind of to the southeastern border. It's just kind of a travel town. It's got 3 good-sized inns, a little shop, or a series of little shops, and then the rest of all the permanent residents of the village are either farmers who are providing meat and crops to the inn, or the wait staff, and it's like the whole village is supported by these inns. And anyway, had a hell of a night, guys. Went to a fancy establishment where they were quickly thrown out.
I know, man. That's really what this was the start of the downfall.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a hoity-toity get out immediately. It was based on your behavior. Like you could have maybe stayed there, but no, you're just you're not fit for that.
Friendly with the bartender and paying generously.
Yep.
We didn't really do. Lorik is puzzled. That was where we left off. His last question to the maitre d' of that place, who Adam is wearing his clothes, and then we've punished him severely for being naked. And Lorik actually asked him, "What did I do wrong?"
What? Yeah,
It's
true.
no idea.
But that guy had just had his balls liquefied and then healed, so he's in no mood to counsel you on the finer points of manners and high society. But yeah, so they were kicked out of the fine place. So, which the name of that, by the way, is the Tranquil Canopy. And so they were urged that maybe the Screaming Broomstick would be a better fit. And they had a hell of a time at the Screaming Broomstick.
And then we got broomsticks.
You got broomstick. But it was, honestly, it might be worth it. You guys it was a night to remember.
It was a good night, but I had thousands of gold worth of stuff.
Yeah, no, well, for everybody else. Yeah, you're the only one who got robbed. Everybody else just had a great night.
I was going to say thousands of gold. I now have a wooden crown.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see, what did happen? Alistair, accompanied by Lorik, led the entire tavern in a rousing just chorus, and they were all singing, going nuts. Bjorn drank an entire keg by himself. Everybody was super excited about it. They made him a crown out of the keg. Brother Radek talking religion. Go ahead.
I had part of the keg, but they wouldn't let me keep trying.
No, they wouldn't let you have it. Lorik or Bjorn, nope, not Bjorn, sorry. Radek got talking religion and got shit-faced. He didn't mean to, but they just
converted some folks.
Him drinks. And
in his drunken stupor, he brought people to the light of.
I did to Amon. That's right.
He did. He was spreading the word of Amon. And great night. You wake up. Alistair is completely naked, and all his stuff is gone. All his gold he'd been accumulating for months, not to mention some very pricey, valuable, magical items that they had just that he had just gotten from the fort and old Berkner, and a magical key. What else? The puzzle box from the wizard. A whole bunch of shit.
His blankets.
Some fine clothes. Yeah, very nice pillows and blankets that he'd been toting around.
So
now
stuff.
they want answers. And I think the last where we left off was
we interrogated
Alistair just brutalizing this poor maitre d' of the Tranquil Canopy.
But he did give us some information, and if only I had written it down.
But he
I
told you to
wrote
go
it down,
find
but I
Teddy.
forgot it. Teddy, that's the guy's name.
There was Teddy, and there was a
Teddy-
Sally.
I thought it
Yeah,
was Sally.
so there's Teddy and Sally. Sally is a waitress at right now. She works at the Big Tent, which is the third inn. But
That's
she
called
has
the Big Tent.
the Big Tent. Yep.
And it is a big tent, right?
It
Big
looks like a
tent.
big tent, yeah.
That's it.
I'll put us over on the map here so you could see at home.
And so yeah, right now she's a waitress there, but she's worked at the Screaming Broomstick. She's worked at the Tranquil Canopy, and she just she knows people. She's a social type of person. Teddy is the guy. Everybody loves Teddy. He's a local. He's been there for a few months, but he knows everybody. He's like not gossip, but he knows all the goings on, and he's just like a great person to talk to for any type of information. And yeah, and so they give you also like where you can find which the waitress has got a place over towards the west, and Teddy is up north in one of these buildings up here.
Right.
All right. I say we start with Teddy.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Where did he say Teddy's at? Sally's at the big tent, but I don't recall where Teddy's at.
Teddy
He has a house further north. We'll find it.
Oh, that's right. He's the feller that just kind of like roams around from place to place. Sounds like an alcoholic, if you ask me.
Yep.
What is an alcoholic?
It's I kind of do one of these and put my hand up and point towards Alistair. It's so much of the drink.
They boisterous man.
I'm just gonna start walking toward the north.
All right, so yeah, he gives you a description of the general location and appearance of Teddy's house. It's just this tiny little like 2-room building, but you're able to find it easily enough. If you guys want to drop tokens, feel free. You don't need to. I'm happy. Theater of mind is fine. But if you'd prefer,
I'll put him on there just in case we need it. Oops! Oh, he's very small. Yeah, so I'm gonna knock on the door.
bum, bum, bum. You hear you could hear something. There's like a silence for a second, and there's like a thump, and you hear a woman's giggle.
No, I've been there.
And
yeah.
You've been in his house?
yeah. And a couple minutes
I've been
later-
the woman in this situation.
Sorry. So a few moments pass, and then this guy, like no shirt on, just pants, kind of opens the door and pokes his head out, and his hair is a little messy, and he looks you up and he kind of smiles at you. He's like, "Morning, friends. Could I help you? You caught me in the middle. Oh man, it's 10 already, huh? It feels earlier. What can I do for you?"
Oh, we're sorry to bother you. And you seem to be in the middle of something, and I certainly understand that. Don't want to take up too much of your time. However, I have a little bit of a predicament, and from what I understand, you might be able to help me out here. You see,
got broomstick.
I was...
So he you actually see that? He looks down at the dwarf, and he looks back at you, and then he kind of leans inside, and he's like, "All right, just 1 second. Sally, hurry up."
Oh,
Guys, we found them both.
look at this. I do have to say, everywhere up here in this coast, as it were, every time we're looking for people, we just happen to find them. This is great.
And so like a moment or two pass.
That is called the will of a man, son.
So do you have any coin there, Radek? Radek, do you have any coin?
I have about 6 gold pieces, sir.
I'm gonna need to take that as a donation, as it were.
For what?
To get my stuff back. I'll pay you back when I get it.
Very well. That seems like a noble cause because you're going to just be unbearable until we find your things. And I'll go ahead and give him my 6 gold. Let me go. I ain't getting that shit back, so I'm taking off my character sheet. Holy shit, I lied to you. I got 4.
All right, I'll take the 4.
Well, all right, good, because that's all I got.
So, you can see Teddy is leaning back into the room, and he's kind of just like doing this like bouncing thing while he's waiting for her. And then finally he's like, okay, all right. And he opens up the door and says, come on in. And he goes, everybody, this is my wife, Sally. Sally, gentlemen, I haven't got your names.
The name is Alistair Grant. The others are inconsequential at this point.
I wouldn't say so at all, sir. I mean, these are fine traveling companions. I myself am Brother Radek, a priest of Amon, and I will be more than willing to give y'all a good, quick morning sermon if you wish.
I think we're kind of in a bit of a rush. Maybe you could wait outside.
Now, this is Bjorn here, as you can tell. He's a dwarf.
I take off my crown when I go in, for the record. I'm just holding the wooden crown out of the keg.
this fine large fellow here, his name is Lorik. What are you after all? I don't rightly recall. He's a large individual.
I don't know that when you introduce people,
stooped over, like I'm almost doubled over in this. I'm assuming smaller house.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those. So it's like
thatch roof, tall.
Yeah, but the roof is like it doesn't have an attic or anything, so it just.
I'm picturing myself like kind of taking up the rear, just inside the doorway. So
yeah,
the edge.
so you definitely you have to duck through the door, but once you get in, it opens up enough where the ceiling is very close to your head, and you're kind of aware of it, but you don't have to stoop.
Yeah, but I'm kind of overreacting to it because I'm very uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. Well, you're huge too, so even your girth takes up is probably more of a concern in a small place.
I picture him coming in through the door almost sideways,
Yeah.
And as Radek asked me, and what are you? And I just go, uncomfortable.
Well, there you go. And
so you don't normally have to introduce everybody by their race. I feel like that's a little bit overkill.
Yeah.
Just their name is. I
was going that way because dwarves are a rare commodity. Folk don't normally see them around here, and I don't know if they rightly know if my fellow is. I walk over and I'll dust some stuff out of his beard right quick, sort of making him look a little bit better.
I'm just
realizing that does nothing, and then I'll stop. Weird. Well, and there you go. I didn't want these folk to get feeling awkward or anything because of our fellow companions.
Makes total sense. And
it's awkward.
So can you please? We're in the Met. We're here for all we're doing right now is wasting these poor people's time. We woke them up early on. Now your name is Sally, is it? Are you the waitress there at the big tent?
No, love. That's a different Sally. I'm a wife. I clean the house and I cook the breakfast. And can I get you boys some breakfast? Have you eaten? Would you like an ale?
I would love something. Maybe some eggs and some bacon would be great.
Excellent. Yeah. And
if it's not much, yes, we don't want to inconvenience you.
No, it's no trouble. It's no trouble.
I offer her one of the rabbits as as payment. If you could, we have rabbits.
Don't go around handing people dead rabbits.
She takes it without missing a beat. She's like, well, that's so kind of you. It would be great in the stew.
Maybe you do. This is a weird fucking place that I don't understand.
Adam's a city boy.
Yeah.
That's not practical.
Now I am down one rabbit. Make note.
Wait, how many rabbits do you have?
Whatever you're going to do, being down a rabbit.
Wait. So being down a rabbit suggests that you have more than one. How many carcasses are you carrying around? 3?
I
How
know.
long have you had these
We were
carcasses?
traveling. We might need food, so I caught rabbits.
I know you should.
Well, you gotta cook that shit up, otherwise
Refrigerate
it gets
them,
gamey
yeah.
and goes bad.
He's salty.
They were gutted and ready to go. Like there weren't like.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just
But
making sure.
He didn't
Okay.
have them, for the record, they're not tucked away in a pack. They're just
They're hanging from his
hanging off
belt.
like his
Yeah,
belt.
they're dangling like they were gutted and like probably
So-
not completely.
The
They were
flies
also
are just
hanging
like
off his belt when he went into the tranquil canopy. So
Yeah.
there's like this big, dirty Goliath, and he's just got 3 dead rabbits amongst like all the other.
Hey,
Like,
I'm
just,
clean. I am clean as
Relatively.
possible. I'm dusty from the road, but clean.
right.
well, all right. Okay. Well, that all right. That just makes it all better, I guess.
So, gentlemen, what brings you to my humble abode? And I apologize, Lorik. I don't often entertain Goliaths. It's modest accommodations. I'm aware.
It is fine.
It's better than most places he's ever been in, I'm sure. Now, see, the thing is,
You got broomsticked, huh?
we got
Now, there's
brooms.
a lot of different ways that can manifest. What happened?
Now, this is not
I don't
proper
I woke up
broomstick.
in a
This
room
is
I did
just.
not pay for. It was a delightful broomsticking.
I don't.
I'm not here to
fuck it.
judge.
Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm just gonna. Yeah, you see,
I don't think it was a delightful broomstick, and I mean, it just sounds painful.
it was a
You gotta open your mind
painful
up, buddy.
broomsticking. So here's what happened. We had some drink, we had some fun, we had some merriment.
They
Woke
made
up the next morning here in the.
Oh yeah, I was there. You drank like a champ. You did fucking great. Sorry, go ahead.
He did. So when I woke up, now I understand I didn't have my clothes on, and they weren't my best clothes to begin with, and that was fine because it was a fun night, had by all. That being said, everything else when I woke up was gone. Me pack,
That explains why you're wearing the Maître D's get up, huh?
It was either this or walk around naked.
Sure.
They
I'm not
also-
sure. What are you looking? What can I do?
So we were told that you're a man about town, and you know all the ins, all the outs, all the what have yous, and you may be able to lead us in the right direction for maybe someone who would do such a dastardly thing to a bona fide hero, I might say. You heard of the fort? What's his name? Brewster? Brenner? Berkner?
Nerd.
You heard of Berkner's fort, right? Captured?
No, I'm not from around here. I just kind of.
And we are quite a ways away from that, aren't we? Because we traveled.
No, you're not too
We're
far.
not that
You're,
far
you're
away.
a week's
We're
journey.
like 3 days away from the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, it's like a couple days to get to the coast, and then a couple more days to get to where you're. Yeah, it's a good week.
Well, at any rate, Berkner had his entire fort captured by North Erglians. Terrible people. Violent, vicious folks. A lot of raping and pillaging going on until we stopped it. Mostly by we, I mean me. I also killed a hag, you see. Single-handedly saved an entire town and a
It
village.
also boasts a lot.
I said, well, we don't need the editorializing. I think we...
All right, so wait, am I understanding you? You want to try to find this stuff?
I would love to find the stuff, yes.
You know, your stuff is gone.
Well,
I mean,
no, it's around here somewhere.
but it's going to be tracking down thieves. That's like a thief's whole thing is like half his job is not being found. It's
No, yes, I understand that, and the other half is giving me back my shite. So
you're
we're
sure it's-
gonna focus on that half.
All right. Well, it was they got you good. I'm guessing it's more than a few coppers if you're gonna go to all this trouble.
It's quite a bit of stuff here, and I'll tell you, any help you can provide me,
If
I'll
I'm
be
not
sure.
mistaken, it was some magical item.
Will you shut the fuck
right?
up? I could have cast. When I say that, I cast silence. Right
What
in
do
his
I have
spot.
to roll for?
There's nothing you
first?
can do.
Nothing.
There's
Nobody
nothing
can
you
make
can
any
do.
noise. Nobody
It's a
can.
20-foot radius, I believe.
Oh, you don't get a saving throw against silence?
Not for
No,
silence.
it's not against you. It's an area of effect.
Yeah.
Everyone
Oh, that's right.
area now.
Okay.
There's no
If you
noise.
walk out of it, gotcha. I remember now.
Yeah, so 20-foot radius. Make sure that he's
Well, he's still yammering away.
Right, yeah.
It's going to be really hard to isolate him and not get everybody else.
Lork is puzzled, and
I'm
he actually,
happy with shutting the rest of them up too, and I'll walk just out of the radius.
Lork is absolutely puzzled, and he's like, he actually like starts banging something or like clapping. And he's just what, like looking at his hands, clapping. What is? You know, like he's just gesturing.
I said, now we're able to have a talk one-on-one.
Yeah, no, there's so you guys are like again, think it like a 2-room shack, right? So
right,
there's
20 feet's pretty big.
You just got everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? I take a moment. I enjoy that silence.
And you can see Teddy has got his feet up and he's leaning back and he's drinking his ale and he's just got a big smirk on his face. He finds it all very. You got like you're just constantly bickering and interrupting each other, and he loves it.
As soon as Radek shuts his pie hole for a second, I get.
How long is it? About 45 seconds.
What is happening?
I'm trying to calm Lork down, but no.
I was going to ask, how long?
It's up to 10 minutes, but I'll wait a good 35, 40 seconds.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, how long do you think Radek would take him to stop talking after he realized it wasn't making any noise? I'm thinking like 45, 50 seconds.
I was thinking of like a minute or a minute.
See, there you go. Yeah.
Multiple minutes.
Yeah, because you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes he gets in the zone and he doesn't realize he's even talking.
Exactly. Yeah. So once he stops, I'll let it
Lork
up.
is totally yelling like that though when the silence ends. Like it just like and he startles him. Like he's like, oh, sorry.
I turn to Teddy. I say, I'm sorry about that. We're obviously a bit upset here, and again, any help you're able to give us.
I'm not upset.
Can you please? Please. Just let me talk to the man.
Okay.
Thank you. Any help you could provide and pointing us into the right direction.
I just thought it was
Can
poignant.
you please just shut it? Please. If you could just, in a moment, just give me a moment.
I go off and see Sally in the kitchen.
I go over and I take Lork. I take Lork to the side so that we can still hear, but will not be like right in the middle of the mix. And I'll just start talking with Lork about. Now I hear that to have a coast.
Lork kind of sighs. He's heard about this coast before.
Yeah. So if there's anything you can do, I'd be happy to pay for your troubles. Now, I only have but 4 gold pieces at the moment that I'll give you just as a little token, a gesture of me goodwill. It's all I've got. I'm wearing a maitre d's clothes.
No, I understand. You're in a tough spot. And he kind of surveys you for a minute, and he's like, "So, you killed a hag, huh?"
Killed a hag.
That's what he says.
It's true. I killed a hag.
And then he looks. He's like, "Is there a reason? Should I question your
I'm gonna fucking kill Reddit.
your honesty?"
I'm backing you up. That's what I'm doing.
No, I'm an honest man. I'm a hero. See, I killed a hag. I liberated a fort, and here I am now dressed as a maitre d', which is an honorable profession, of course, but it's all I've got here.
He is generally truthful, although he exaggerates.
See, the thing is, this is.
I think
I barely know
he
this.
He doesn't need your help. He's trying to persuade this gentleman.
The man asked us.
You just did the same thing. Much worse. All right. So after he puts his hands up, he's like, "I don't have much use for gold. It seems that it comes and it goes too easily. I don't put much value in it.
I have 2 more rabbits."
Well, let's hear what the man is looking for before we continue.
What I
just
collect
guess.
are friends and favors. So I'll tell you what, Alistair. I'll help you today, and then someday, if our paths cross again, you will help me." And he holds his hand out.
Well, I'll be happy to. I'll shake his hand if that's what he's looking
Roll perception.
for. Hold on.
Is it perception or insight we're doing here?
Perception. It's just Alistair.
I was going to say it's not everybody, right? Okay.
Now,
Neither one of that.
if
good.
he gets it,
9.
you don't notice.
I don't.
All right. Are you truthful? Like are you like? Do you really plan on if he asks you for help as long as it's reasonable? He's not like, all right, real quick favor, just go kill the king. As long as it's something reasonable.
Truth on me? Yeah. No, I was going to offer the. Well, I won't say that until I need to, but yeah.
yeah. This is easy. That's
Yeah. No. I'll help him.
All right. So when you shake his hand, you feel this like just a little tinge of energy, and you see this kind of silver light or whatever encompass your hand for a second.
I'm
like,
doing
and then it just evaporates, and everybody would see this.
I got a 17 Arcana check. Did I know what he cast on me?
So he didn't cast anything. But when he pulls his hand away, you'll see what you didn't notice the first time is there's a silver rune on the palm of his hand, and it's like almost like it looks like a tattoo, but with like silver for ink. Okay. And you'll recognize this. This is a common rune for it's like tattoo magic, and it's very common among merchants and traders. And it doesn't do anything. All it is for striking a just bargain. If your intentions hadn't been true, like if you were just saying that you were going to do a favor for him and you didn't have any like intention of upholding your end, it wouldn't have activated. That's all. Okay. But because you do plan on following through and holding up your end of the bargain, it just kind of let him know, and that's all that was.
Little does we know Alistair's intentions are very malleable.
Yeah, right.
At the moment, I mean this.
Right. And so he sits back and he's like, all right, so truthfully, guys, I'm a traveler. I just I go where the wind takes me. But some business brought me here, and I've been here for 3 or 4 months just watching this comedy unfold behind me. I haven't been able to leave. I mean, they're nice people too, and it's a good party town. But it's these 3 inns. It is so entertaining to watch. There is plenty of business coming through here for all 3 of them, but they just are at each other's throats, and they've hired these thieves or whatever you want to call them to rob the other ends and sabotage the other ends and poach employees away or scare them off, and it's just they're hell bent on sabotaging one another, and it has just been gold to watch, guys. I can't tell you. It's just, but I'm a spectator of life. I'm a people watcher, so this has all been very entertaining. But what I'm getting at is there a big heist like this and to get away with it, and you seem like a pretty together guy, Alistair. We're not some regular tavern wench is going to lift all your stuff off you. There are 4 people who could have done this. There's Abner, and he gives you he holds out his hand, and in it appears like a little 8-inch illusion of a guy. So now you know what Abner looks like. Just a regular Abner-y sort of looking guy.
My, that man looks like an Abner.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I misheard you and heard admirally. So I was like, oh, he's a boat captain.
Yeah. No, Abner-y. And then there is Triss, who is a young woman. There is Brown, and there is Tiro.
Thank you, Glorian69, for 5 credits here. Back for the small penis and 1 for Jake.
I got to make a notion. No more specifically thanking Rob for giving us 3 cents. Thank you for all the donations, Rob. I don't want to break the flow for your 2-penny donation. Appreciate it.
It's his tradition, though. He has to interrupt at least once to tell us that Jake has a small penis.
That is true. I do, and I'm all for the small penis, Jake. But that's
I like to feel that they're 2 separate entities now, though, because we have 1 for the small penis and then 1 for Jake.
Right. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. It's like your sidekick.
I'm like a creepy superhero.
In real
You were
for the game.
breaking
Both track, yeah.
So I got Tiro, Tess, and Abner. Who's the guy I missed?
Who's Tiro?
Hero Triss.
Triss.
Triss. Brown.
Brown. That was the other one.
To be honest, I just assumed you were saying Tess, because Radek is definitely going to say
Wait,
Tess. I
so there's
imagine.
Brown
Yep.
and what was it? What was the other one?
Abner.
Triss. And
I got Abner.
Triss, Tiro, and Brown.
Tiro.
What was the last one? I'm sorry.
Tiro.
I guess
Like
it's
hero, but with a T.
Abner, Triss, Brown, and Trio.
Hero.
Tiro,
Yes, suck.
damn it.
And these are
We
all
really
possible
do.
thieves.
These are all thieves. Like, yeah, they're like any of these four. It's going to be one of these four.
And do you you did
You
a
know
little.
what they are.
Did he do a little illusion for all of them or just for Abner?
No, for each one, just poof, 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 poof.
Do I recognize Triss from my
Triss?
evening last night? Triss.
Triss from your Triss.
You might have
Everybody
recognized
give
any of them,
me
man. That was quite
a
the
perception
pile.
check, or not perception? Yeah,
You had quite the pile going on.
Yeah,
That's true.
I only got a 10.
Could I have rolled too? Because I don't know. I was.
Oh yeah, no. This is everybody. Yeah.
I would like to know if Alistair remembers any distinct birthmarks or something that we could find by going around and like looking for a particular birthmark, like on one cheek or something.
Excuse me. We're going to have to see your birthmarks.
Yeah,
I
like
just say I'm not exactly
he
going to be
gave
like.
you full pictures of.
We're gonna need to
Can
do it. Yeah.
I see that your ass. Like,
Hi, yeah, full body cavity search here, guys. We're gonna need.
I don't
If you
feel
Well,
don't
I
mind-
was just hoping that there was because I want to see you try to talk people into showing you
Yeah.
your butts.
Hey,
I
Let's
know
be
we're
honest,
walking up.
I'm
We
short
need to
enough, I
see
can
your
probably
ass.
Just saying.
all right, so actually, sorry, Radek. I'm having the toughest time with your freaking name. I suck at names too, apparently. Radish.
There you go.
You do remember seeing Triss the night before.
I remember this one right here in particular. She didn't want to have anything to do with talking about a man and his light and how he could save her from her life of degradation and sinfulness.
Did you have anything to do with
That's
me?
not true. That line worked on me, or worked for me anyway. And then, like, Sally like hits him with a towel, and she's like, "Don't you listen to him." He is
Well, it wasn't a lie, sir. I was being truthful and honest with her.
Okay, what do you remember about this Triss there, Radek?
She was there at the tavern.
Yep. So you remember? It's true.
The one time where you wish I would have more to say.
Ask a stupid question. That was my fault.
Pause, garbage. She was there at the tavern.
What about the others?
What more do you want from me? The only thing aside from that is you remember seeing her like pretty late. You guys figure you probably passed out somewhere in the neighborhood of like 3-ish in the morning.
Yeah.
And you remember seeing her, like it's one of the last things you remember before you.
Actually, she was one of the last things I remember because before I faded away to heavenly sleep, and I was thinking
that would be death, isn't it?
She needs to get to bed, and she doesn't seem like she's been drinking. Is what I was thinking.
What about the others? Do you recognize the others?
Oh, the others. Well, since you bring it up, I do not.
That gets me.
Right. And so, like, meanwhile, Teddy is just like stuffing his face with bacon and ale, and he just
And
like
rabbit.
and rabbit. Yeah, that's right. And actually, not even bacon, with rabbit and ale. Thank you. and there's some eggs and stuff. So he's like, all right, so let me. I'll see what I can find out. But in the meantime, why don't you boys? I'll give you a couple people to maybe you can start with. But first, you should know. So these, I told you these inns. They're at war with each other essentially. Yes. So
Yes.
each one of these thieves works for one of these inns. With the fourth one being the Thieves Guild has a presence in the area. So there's just
Where does Tess work?
Sorry?
Who does Tess work for?
Her name is
I'm not telling you.
Chris.
No. So here's the deal. People, I've run into a few situations where people love to use truth serum. So if you end up causing trouble for these inns or these thieves, and it gets back that old Teddy gave you word, and they come to me and I have to tell them the truth, and I told you that they were thieves, I can talk my way out of that. If I told you they were thieves and who they worked for and where you can find them, that's trouble for old Teddy. And I'm not trying to stick my neck out too far for a future promise. You understand, we're friends. You wouldn't want anything bad to happen to your friend. So I can tell you,
we will see justice served.
They work for the inns, and there is one for the guild.
We killed men by the dozen only days ago.
That's excellent. That's excellent for you.
Lord, I don't think that's going to win the man over at the moment. But
I'm informing him that we can protect him.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm protecting myself right now by just not putting myself in danger, and that's seemed to an ounce of prevention and all that. You understand?
No,
I cannot understand, but you small men have different ways.
You see, that's also a bit rude to our host. When you call it, just like you don't want to say, oh, here's a fucking Goliath. You want to be introduced as Lorik.
But I am a Goliath.
I didn't call him a Goliath at all. I said I don't really rightly
You didn't know what it was. You said, you don't want to be introduced as, here's some fucking thing I don't ever understood. No, you want to be introduced by your name, and in this case, you don't want to
But if it is the truth, then it is not offensive.
But you don't want, well, it's kind
That's
of
true, Big
offensive. What you spent the little man part.
I just start laughing at Big Man and taking a swing.
But you are little man.
But that's still, it's a bit.
I'm a big man and you are a little man.
But when you say, the more you say it, the worse it sounds.
I cannot help it if you are small.
That's not.
Don't you worry about it. What do you weigh? 700 pounds? To you, I am small. Alistair, if you had called me small, that might have been insulting, but this guy's 9 feet tall. I am a small man to him. We are small. Well, he's exaggerating.
I know, but
if you're 8 feet tall, people are going to call you 9 feet tall. They're going to call you 12 feet tall.
This is Lorik, however. He's bickering
Although,
about.
does he actually know how tall he is? Like, I am 6 tree branches high on the sacred measuring tree.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Well, at any rate.
Or actually, Goliaths are so competitive that they probably don't even have. It's just like, I am 3rd tallest in my tribe.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, certainly understand you don't want to stick your neck out any more than you have to. And you've given us quite a bit of information already. Is there any other just tidbits you wouldn't mind throwing in?
All right, fine. So rumor has it that one of these thieves that works for one of the inns has his little hideout, little stash place right in the basement of the inn. I've never bothered looking into it. It's something I've been, meaning to get around to, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I know that another one of them has got a place out west, and rumor has it that there is another one who has something in the woods. I don't know. I just heard one of them has been coming and going from the woods a lot. I can't remember which one. I'll see if I can find that out, and I'll remind you.
Is this part of how small men protect themselves?
You just keep talking about the small man.
I'm trying to understand.
We're having a fucking conversation.
Yes, I am speaking.
And then And then Sally pipes up and she's like, "Oh, and don't forget the Thieves Guild. They have an outpost up in like north of here in the Forest of Thorns." And he's like, "Teddy," it's like, "Woman, shut the fuck up. You don't talk about where the Thieves Guild outpost is. You're gonna wake up with a knife in your fucking throat."
See, now I'm just thinking, now he understands what I go through.
Right. Yeah.
Where did he say that outpost was?
Sully, we will not allow the Thieves Guild to harm you.
Where? I'm sorry.
He's like, she's my fifth wife. They don't women around me don't last too long. I don't know what it is.
It
I'm
sounds
lucky they're
like
not.
you need some
Elliot,
counseling.
there are no dwarf women.
If
Stay the fuck away from mine, pal.
Did I hear that right? Did you say there's no such thing as a dwarven woman?
Can we get back to the task
Yep,
at
and
hand?
just walk outside.
I find that hard to believe.
That is news to not Lorik, but Alistair and Brother Radek. That's like a pretty significant racial. Like there are no dwarven women. He just dropped it so casually.
Yeah.
Like, then how? Just fucking how? How are
Exactly.
dwarves?
I literally did.
People tell me that it has
Just
something to
walking
do
back
with
and screaming drumstick.
I just assume I'll find out at some point. Anyway, where was the outpost?
All right,
Did
so
you
there
say?
are 4 thieves, 4 locations. You've
Right.
got one in the basement of one of the inns.
Right, someone has a
One-
place out west.
West into Hayfeld. There's 2 in the Forest of Thorns. 1 more north, 1 more south, we'll say.
So the one, the Thieves Guild is north. You said before.
Thieves Guild is north, yeah. So I'm going to pull up the
It's in the Forest of
Eastern
Thorns.
sweep map just to give you like.
Where would that Triss woman most likely be at?
Her name is Triss.
Lorik already asked that, and I got shushed.
He's not going to answer that. He has.
Yeah, no, that's gentlemen.
He's told us quite a bit.
I obviously wasn't paying attention. My apologies.
Radek, you should know this. This is how small men protect themselves.
This is not. We're not protect. We're gonna just get exchange of information.
All right, so.
But Radek was asking for information.
All right, so you guys see the Eastern sweep map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are
see
here,
it.
like right at the road, right here.
Yeah.
See my ping?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's somebody out here, like one of the thieves has a stash just in another village this way. One of them is if it just went south. And I guess I said north, it's more east, rather. The Thieves Guild is eastern over here by this mountain and right here. You've got, East Forest of Thorns, South Forest of Thorns, West Hayfeld, and in the village are your potential locations.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you there, Teddy. And Sally, appreciate all of your hard work in the kitchen. You make a delicious breakfast.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll ask a few questions, and if you get stuck, come back and see me. I'll see if I have anything else to find for you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You are most helpful. Lorik stands and extends his arm, like his hand to him.
Yep. Oh yeah. So he reaches out and shakes. He's like, "Give me at least an hour, boys.
Lorik,
I gotta. There's a ritual I gotta do. It takes some time."
When Lorik shakes, he grabs his forearm, but because of the size difference, it's like his elbow, and he just kind of shakes him around.
Yep. And it was kind of like he was surprised for like a half a second, and you can see it's like, I really should have known better. He just kind of endures it. And it's just, yep.
And the shaking, it's not like an actual thing. It's just like he's not just doing this. It's more just like the grab.
Sure, yeah. It's strong man. Maybe work on the finesse a little bit. Do you sew? Sewing is good to dexterity. Just break stuff. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
I could show you how to cobble shoes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Radek is
Valuable
Matter of fact, Teddy, if you got any shoes,
I'm going to start just pushing them out the door.
I'm already gone.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
lost.
out the, yeah, you're
like
good.
you come back and see. Do you do women's? Sally's got.
Well,
You know, maybe if you have some shoes you'd like cobbled, we could do it right now.
I start pulling out my cobbler's pack, and I put it on the table and roll it and take out some of my tools, my little hammers and stuff. Well, yes, I've got tools for all kinds of shoes. That was going to be my calling card, my catchphrase. That's what it was going to be.
I walk out the door, and as I pass you, I just say, "It fucking sucks."
Don't get upset, sir, because I have a pliable trade and you do not.
Hey, this Alistair, man. If he fixes her shoes, there's the favor, huh?
I think it's more of a favor than that.
Not to mention the bargain is with Alistair.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying.
But all right, yeah. So he sends you out. He suggests that the wait staff or like any staff of the inns is a great place to start because they're always, it's their job. You know what I mean? Like they can't get as drunk as everybody else, so they're sober and they're always in the middle of stuff, and they're local. So that's
Alistair brutalized the maitre d's testicles. So yes, we did try it first.
Yeah, out of context, that sounds really bad.
Out of context, in context. That's
context doesn't help that much.
Okay, that's all right. It's the truth, and Lork's okay with that. He doesn't understand this whole context thing.
Sure.
Well, I mean, he does, but not in your ways.
All right. So, he sends you out, suggests to start with wait staff, that sort of thing. Just general, just anything out of the ordinary. You guys know what the thieves look like now, so you can ask if anybody's seen them and give him at least an hour, and he'll come back. He's going to cast a ritual. I'm not really sure. I don't know. But he might be
steps outside and kind of stretches and rubs his belly. Like, that was a good breakfast. Shall we find the maitre d' again?
No. I said, here's the thing. If we could all gather together and have a family meeting here for a moment.
I must say, Alistair, I'm quite touched that you would consider us to be family.
I'm already like halfway back to the broomstick, for the record.
All right, so Bjorn's gone.
Yeah, that's fine.
I left while everyone was talking.
The others are the ones I really need to discuss this with.
He doesn't like talking about the lack of dwarf women. It pisses him off.
Yeah.
So I just say, look, fellas, this particular mission, we need to be more, how shall I say, subtle in what it is we say and don't say. Now, Teddy turned out to be a friendly sort and someone willing to help out. Not everyone we speak to will. That means sometimes we may need to lie. And I look at Lorik. And then I look at...
He's like, I've heard of this. I do not like it.
That's okay. You don't need to do it yourself. If you find yourself saying something, just stop.
And Lork is kind of just like, he looks puzzled for a minute and then just thoughtful and just rubs his chin and nods. Like he was about to say something and he stops himself.
Very good. Very good. And then I say,
is this a small man thing?
It's a very small man thing, yes. When we need the big man thing.
Small?
When we need the big man
thing. You are
thing.
not very small. Those little guys on the ship were very small.
Right, this is an average small man thing. And when we need a big man thing, I'll give you the heads up. And then I say, at other times, we just may not want to say anything at all. And I look at Radek.
I agree 100%, sir.
I know you do, but see, here's
the when there comes a time when you just don't really need to talk because talking just doesn't do anything. It's not constructive, So you got to know when to wheel that back in a little bit. Reminds me of a time when I was talking to these two fellas out on the road, and they were. How does that story go again?
All of it
doesn't really matter. What the point is of the story is that sometimes you just.
Alistair, he does not realize he does this.
right. So that's why I'm letting him continue on, because all of those things that you just said, from now on, don't say.
Well, Lorik's already agreed that he would keep his truth telling to a minimum, and I admire that, Lorik. I know it's hard for you to do that.
I just turn and I turn and I run toward the big tent.
He runs?
Yeah, I don't say another word. I just turn around and run toward the big tent.
Excellent.
Is he okay?
I don't think so. I think the loss of all his possessions, because he's obviously a man that puts his self-worth within his possessions instead of his abilities, and it's really messed.
And we just kind of follow walking with Radek explaining to me as I.
Excellent. All right. All right, so you guys follow after. We've got Bjorn, you're going to the Screaming Broomstick, and because you were walking, you got a head start, and Alistair's running. I'll say you guys arrive to your two respective inns at roughly the same time. Bjorn, what are you doing at the Screaming Broomstick?
I'm just looking around for any wait staff, bartender, specifically the bartender who served me.
Okay, yeah, he's in there. He wasn't when you left, but it's been about an hour now, and he's in there just trying to straighten up, picking up bar stools and sweeping up glass and just getting ready. It's probably take him until they are like ready to open in 6 hours just to get this place back to zero.
I just walk in and start helping him. How's it going, man? Just start helping him.
He's a little taken aback, and
I was.
He's just
I'm
like,
wearing my crown again for the record.
Fucking fantastic. And he just kind of gives you a smile and a nod and goes back to work.
So I see they didn't fire you.
Wasn't it the other one who was in trouble at the fancy one?
No, that was him because I
bartender. He charged too little for the keg.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay, yeah. Sorry. No, well, I haven't talked to anyone who could fire me yet, but I think it'll be fine. You guys, we made a killing last night. Everybody got so drunk, and you were a large part of it. So thank you. I made more last night than I make in a week.
All right, I just go. Mind if I just go to your basement? I think I wandered down there and dropped something last night.
That's so nonchalant.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a hand, and there's a table is just flipped over.
Oh, yeah, I just do it single-handedly without him worried touching it.
Make a strength check. It's like one of the island. I'll make it that much cooler if you do it.
18.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, 18 definitely does. That was just a strength save instead of a.
Oh, my bad.
We were just.
No, it's okay. Because even without the proficiency modifier, it's still good.
We were just hoping for. A
so he goes to goes to grab one end, to do the practical, just pick it up and flip it thing, and he's just right in the middle, just pick it up, and it kind of hits, kind of like oh shit, but it was like that's not my table. And he just it's like oh okay yeah no have a look around.
He's like, thank you. I'll be down there if you need any more help.
All right, what'd you lose? I might have seen it.
Just a piece of my trinket here. I show him I make it look like it's a necklace or something. The crab.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I did. Good luck. I hope if anybody else found it, that's gone. But
that's why I'm thinking it's in the basement. I was down there a bit last night checking it out.
I was down there just hanging out.
I'm just hanging out.
I mean, it gives you like that's really fucking weird, but okay.
I just go down. I mean, I'm more comfortable down there.
Yeah, it's one of those it's a weird thing, but he hangs out with drunk people all the time. So
right, exactly.
I just go down there.
All right. Yeah.
No, I'll just start looking around, see if there's anything that looks like it might be hidden. So it's perception.
It's investigation, but how long are you going to spend? How thoroughly?
As long as he'll not come down there and start questioning me.
So I mean, are you going to push it until he does, or give me minutes? How many minutes?
I'll push it until he does.
Okay. Then you can roll with advantage.
Keep going.
Where is it? There we go. Aha! 20.
Wow. You don't even need the advantage.
So despite not being like detective-y or whatever,
Caverns are my thing.
that's exactly
It's underground, so
it's underground, and dwarves are big on like mechanical stuff as well as like enchanting magic. So you feel pretty confident about finding secret doors and stuff.
It's human made. I'll find it.
Yeah, and it doesn't take you long at all, and you just kind of sweep the room. Well, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, like you go through and you just sweep the cellar, and you feel very confident that you were thorough, and there's no secret door down here.
I just go back up.
Okay.
I just go. I found it. And just walk back out.
Okay.
He's holding
Alistair at
he's holding
the
like
big.
a screw. And then he found out the floor.
I don't exactly. That's just not full of lying, but not that.
It's not this guy's bar. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
All right, Alistair at the Big Ten.
all right, I run in, I quickly, and I close the door behind me. With my back to it.
It's more of like a flap. Like,
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, so I'm
It's
trying to
Big
hold
Ten.
the flap
He's
closed.
like nailing it to the ground.
right. So as soon as you walk into, so what the it's like, it has like a rope on the inside. So you close it and you just kind of wrap it around like
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
boat anchor
Gotcha.
dock thingy, like
I'm
on
hip
the
to your
wall.
jive, yeah.
A mooring.
Hmm?
A mooring.
A mooring. You wrap it around a mooring that's on the wall.
That's
And,
a mooring.
You are immediately kind of taken aback by how it looks like a tent. You know, you're walking, you're like, it's a giant tent, but how is this an inn? You know,
Yeah, that's why I didn't
you
come
walk
in here
in,
last
there's
night.
just
Yeah.
like open, like kind of like an open all the way to the top ceiling, but then there's just walled off rooms, and you can see a gallery running along the top, and there's rooms off, and it had like there's a door down to a basement. It is like a full structure with interior walls. It's just a tent for the exterior, but in that it's like a real building.
Cool. Is there anybody
yeah.
inside?
You're in.
Is there anybody inside?
Oh yeah, it's similar to what Jake found. There's a couple of wait staff in there, and you can see like somebody official looking behind the bar, going over something with the bartender, and they're just like they don't have nearly as much to pick up after as the Screaming Broomstick, but they're just recovering from last night and preparing for they serve lunch and.
Sure. I'll sit at a table. I'm not gonna go to the bar because there's an official looking guy there.
All right. A minute or two pass, and actually, that's not true. It's slow. A waitress comes to you right away.
Okay. Morning then. Your name isn't Sally by any chance, is it?
No, but that's what it's not her section. She's right there though. I don't. Sally, come here. And she calls over Sally, and Sally comes over. She's very short. She's a human, but she's probably like 4'10", maybe.
Okay.
My height.
Well, I'm sitting. Yeah, I'm sitting down. So, Sally, then, pleasure to meet you. I've heard quite a bit about you. All good things, of course.
Of course. Trying to butter me up, darling?
Indeed, I am. I had a bit of a favor to ask you. You see, I'm a hero of sorts.
Oh, Josh, you just go right in with that.
You heard about, I'm sure, Berkner's fort was taken over by the North Erglians. I liberated it. Also killed a hag by myself at the festival. You probably heard about that too. It was a little further south. But anyway, that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is I found myself in a wee bit of a predicament yesterday. I had a bit too much fun. Bit too much drink.
Oh, you were at the Screaming Broomstick, huh? Things got a little rowdy there last night.
Ah, you heard about that day.
I did.
So, when I woke up, couldn't help but notice that I lost all my stuff.
You got broomsticked, huh?
I got broomsticked, proper broomsticked, yes.
Yeah. I've been broomsticked once or twice.
Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Just let us know when we come walking in.
I had a bit.
Actually, now seems like a pretty good time.
Yeah.
And
Like
that's
that's
what
enough.
it does
He
to
ran, but it was kind of a
compensate.
far walk, so it's just enough time for him to sit and begin a conversation.
And as we come in, I'm saying to Lark, and that's what an individual like that does to compensate for the lack of immoral fiber. Oh, Alistair, howdy.
Excellent.
I ignore him,
Friend of yours?
as it were. So I was told you may be somebody who might know a few things, know some people around here, may be able to point me in the right direction. See, I'd love to get my stuff back, and put a gold piece on the table nonchalantly, and I said, "Now, of course, I understand that."
I hate to say, but you gave away the 4 gold.
No, he wouldn't take it.
He didn't.
He didn't
I
take
wasn't,
it.
Again, wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Ignore them. They mean well. So,
Both stoically said nothing.
You're doing such a good job,
and I
Lori.
appreciate that. Said, so if there's anything you can do to help me, I'd be sure to make it worth your while.
She picks the gold piece up. She's, well, I see you know how to ask questions properly, and I appreciate that because you have no idea how many men don't. But honey, I'm gonna need a bit more than you were robbed. If I need to know what you're looking for.
Well,
Is this the time where we shouldn't say anything, Alice?
yes. Now, there was a number of things. There was, well, a good bit of gold, which I'm happy to share with you, for a certain finder's fee, as it were. There was a couple of potions. There was some daggers, some fine weapons.
Oh, no, honey, I don't care what they stole from you. I mean, I don't know what you want me to I'm not a detective.
No, I would like you to tell me if you knew anything about who would have taken this and where I could find them.
Oh, I try. I don't want to know who the thieves are. I know who the customers are.
I put another gold on the table nonchalantly.
It's not a matter of coin.
I pick the gold up.
As
Roll
this
up,
is
roll
going
insight.
on, I'm not gonna
Roll what? An insight?
Insight.
Oh shit! Okay.
I'm giving a blow by blow to Lorik. I'm explaining
4.
it to in erratic whisper.
Okay, face value. You pick the coin back up.
Yeah.
And then as you do, she reaches down and puts her hand on your hand. She's like, honey, I really would like to help you.
Well, and you don't want coin. That's very okay. Well,
Well,
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you anyway. Here's another gold piece here for you. My pleasure.
If you do not want a coin, would you like
this 2 gold is going to be very helpful because you see, my sister's sick, and I've been trying to get her passage, but
I said, here's the thing.
it costs 6 gold to get her to where I need to go. So this 2 gold is helpful, but you understand I'm in a bit of a predicament.
Of course, I understand. We all have our woes. I turn to Lorik. Lorik, do you have any gold on you by any chance?
I have rabbits. She said she does not want gold, but I have rabbits.
No, but you see, the thing is, we don't need the rabbits. We need the gold. Do you have any gold?
I have gold.
Ironic.
No gold.
I
At all.
have. One minute here. Lorik really kind of reaches into a pouch and he holds out a handful, probably say 6 gold, just in his hand. He's like, "Is this enough?"
It is exactly enough. I'll take that gold. Thank you very much. And I say,
Now, look,
this 6 gold here,
Get that.
it's for your. This is for your
What did
sister.
you say?
You're not. It's just supposed to be background murmuring. Is what that is.
Yeah.
So don't pay any attention to it.
So I hand the gold to Sally, and I sort of place my hand on her hand, and I say, "This is for your dear sister. The other 2, well, they're for you, and just for being a friend in an unfriendly place and being a help where you can be.
He's hoping that is good luck.
That is so helpful, and that means so much to me. It's very important to have friends. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree 100%, and I would love to be your friend here, Sally.
You know who else is a very good friend of mine? Have you met Abner? You heard of Abner? Very great guy.
I've heard of Abner. I've not had the chance to meet him.
I have heard
Abner.
of App, and then Lyric says, "I've heard of App," and then he stops himself and just stares.
Now that's
She looks at it.
good
and-
job, Lork. You did a real good job there.
Yeah. She's puzzled for a second, but her focus is on Alistair anyway, so it's just a brief. She's like, I was just saying when I saw Abner when he was leaving here this morning about an hour after sunup. I was just saying, Abner, you are such a very good friend of mine. I have enjoyed seeing you here all night.
Now, see what you did there.
It's very interesting.
Letting them know without letting them know.
So that's and I appreciate the tale of Abner and the fact that he's a homebody of sorts, staying here at the old big tent.
It's just the big tent, love. There's an older big tent two towns over.
I must have confused the two. Apologies.
It's common.
So, anything else you might have heard from the party last night?
As a matter of fact, there is. I did hear that it's time to take our first break.
Now you see what he's saying there, Lork.
He done broke the fourth wall. All right, so we'll be back in a couple minutes, everybody. Get your popcorn, do your thing.
Sounds good.
Will, any suggestions on what they should do during their break?
I was just going to say, I don't hear you criticizing Jairus when he does it.
We'll be right back.
Yay.
And we're back. Thanks for hanging out and waiting for us, ladies and gentlemen. Now is the rave part of the show. It's Ravanna from here on out, motherfuckers.
That was quick. Like that was a seamless.
He's a professional. He's a professional.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. They don't pay me anything.
We give you lots of praise.
Yeah. So you're able to. Excuse me. You got something out of the waitress.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's all she was gonna give.
That's all.
Well,
that's all she
That
got.
was good information because she let you know that it's not. It probably isn't Abner.
Probably isn't Abner.
Because
All right.
Abner was there all night at the big tent.
Yeah. So I'll leave and I'll gesture you guys to come with me.
Sure.
Thank you very much. I say to the woman, like, even if she's across the room now, I'm just like, thank you.
Yeah, and that's what she kind of does, like a half turn. She's like, oh, yep.
I say
And,
once we're outside the tent flap, I say, why don't we split up? This way we could gain more ground, talk to some more folks, maybe head back to the Screaming Broomstick, ask around there if anybody saw anything or knows of anything, because I don't know where Jake went, or Bjorn went, rather.
Hey, what did you do after you left the Screaming Broomstick? What do you?
That's actually a good question. I'd probably start wandering back to where I last saw them, assuming they're still bickering.
Everybody roll perception.
There was no bickering being had. We were discussing.
Natural one.
Oh yeah, you ain't.
I haven't noticed anything.
Oh, I got a natural one too.
So Josh might.
So we walk right past him.
Yeah.
So only Lorik does. Like you guys come out and.
For the record, my passive perception is better.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so you notice you guys come out right about the same time that Bjorn is coming out of the Screaming Broomstick, and you notice he is heading up north again towards Teddy's.
don't know this. So I just say, so why don't you guys head back to the broomstick? Maybe talk to the folks around there and see what they could find, and I'll maybe.
Here's one thing I was thinking while I was watching your performance in there is that to get any kind of like solid information, we're probably going to have more coin. And,
Well, I agree with that. Is there any way you can help with that?
Bjorn just left the broomstick.
I've got an idea.
Very cryptic.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I see. The eagle has landed.
I've got an idea here. I sit down and I pull out all my cobbler's tools and stuff, and I spread them out on the ground and what have you.
Bjorn!
Well, I assume you hear the giant yelling at me.
I mean, how much he's probably about 150 feet away. Well, more.
Oh, yeah, I
He's
shout.
400 feet away.
I mean, I shout. Yeah.
All right, give me perception.
Look,
Actually, your passive is good enough.
Yeah, as I said.
why don't you take off your boots for
You
me?
notice,
for a little bit?
Yeah.
So I just start walking towards
Why
them.
do you
So
need
I'm
my
kind of
boots?
connected.
Sure.
Well, I figured a large, tough man like yourself could go barefoot for a little bit, and this way I can start working on them and show
Lord
everybody.
actually looks at Alistair puzzled this time.
I don't
You
understand
understand
either.
this? I do
No.
not understand this.
This is
Well,
not.
I'm going to show that I'm a cobbler, and if anyone needs their shoes worked on, they might come by and see me working on shoes, and we might strike up a conversation, talk about the weather for a little while, probably, and maybe just how fine it is to be traveling around here.
I say
I could slip into the conversation. Your shoes appear to need some cobbling.
I look at Lorik and I say, this is not how little men do.
What I wanted.
Is this how cobblers do?
I don't know. I don't really
The
know. any
shoemakers
cobblers.
of my village did not do this.
Maybe you just ask
Well,
around or
normally-
ask some questions.
That seems.
I was going to be making some coin so that we could
If you
ask
want to make some coin
questions.
cobbling, you go ahead and do it. Maybe Lorik, you and Bjorn go and you ask some questions. You cobble away to your heart's content.
I was just in the basement of the broomstick.
Very well. I mean, if you don't want to participate, I understand. My shoes
That's a
are.
lot.
Well, I don't think it would make sense if all of us
I was
just stood
thinking to
here
get
cobbling
some
shoes.
that were not in pristine. I mean, look at my shoes, and I take my shoes off and try. Look at how fine of.
I mean, your shoes look
keep
very
them-
nice, but
I keep them in good quality.
Right, but to
Make
see the
that
thing
once
is-
more.
if you just sit here cobbling all of our shoes, then we're not going to get anywhere.
Alistair, your shit wasn't in the broomstick.
My shit, this is all very. First the cobbler, then the.
I checked-
oh, yeah. So you mean down in the basement?
Yeah, I checked it out. It was clear.
Oh, you know what? See, this is a man who knows what's what. So, did you happen to ask the bartender if he knew anything?
No, he let me in the basement.
Well, that's a start. Probably
But-
need a bit more information. Do you have any gold on you there, Bjorn?
For you, maybe.
It's not for them, that's for sure.
I have more gold. You need more gold, Alistair.
I could probably use some more gold. I'm probably gonna have to
I
bribe.
pull out.
someone.
I just kind of pull out that pouch and kind of look inside it for a minute. I reach in and I just grab another handful, like say another 9 gold. I'm just holding it, like, is this enough?
Well, I mean, it depends on this is a good start.
God. How much do you need?
How much
I
do you
look at
have?
it like I haven't counted it.
Why don't
People
you-
give me this, and I do not know why.
Well, I'm gonna need at least 20 gold for this.
That's what they call currency, Lord. You use that for purchasing items,
Oh, I may need item.
and services like shoe cobbling.
You don't. I'll make sure you get it back. Whatever you have, if you don't mind handing over. You know what? Give me half. You keep half in case you need to bribe anybody.
You said 20. he knows how you are. And he just started stuck with the 20. He does give you a 20 for now, though.
All right, I'll take the 20.
There you go.
All right, I say.
How about Adam playing a greedy character in like the party of just 3 people who money means nothing to them? At least 2.5.
Yeah. See, I've traveled with him enough. I know at this point.
Yeah, he's
George's like, money? Sure. Have my money.
I don't need money. I can get squirrels.
Right? What a dream come true for Alistair.
Yeah.
You guys checked the basement?
I said we didn't check the basement. Maybe there's a way that you could check. You seem very good at checking basements.
That's true.
All right, I just walk in.
You seem very good at checking basements. I mean,
I love that he just goes, okay. And just, all right, I'm off to check the basement.
All right, yeah, so you're
I follow Bjorn because I'm curious.
Oh no!
And when we get inside, I actually wave to Sally again.
she looks like a little bit as exasperated or just like nods and then just kind of tries to avoid you.
Oh, you know her, big guy. Just keep walking.
There you go. All right, so
I follow you.
all right, yeah, so you're in.
I'm going towards like the nearest wait staff. I'm like, excuse me.
So that is
Sally.
but she quickly disappears into the back, and
I just follow her.
Yeah, no, you like.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you attempt to, and then there's the official-looking person, just the manager on duty who was talking to the bartender before, is now just floating on. Excuse me, sir, you can't go back there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for the basement.
You can't go there either. Do you have a room here?
No, what I am is a dwarf, and we know caverns very well, and I was thinking I could expand your wine cellar. Trying to lie to him.
That sounds like it's not in our budget. Our wine cellar it's actually more. It's very nice. You know what? Only because like that guy was like he was just like you could sense he's kind of proud of the wine cellar. Your persuasion check.
If I just talked my way into this,
I like you.
Yeah, 17.
Yep. Yep. I fucking love you guys.
Lois believes that you want to see the wine cellar.
All right, so he he's like, well, just I'm expecting a. All right, yeah, sure. Are you a big wine connoisseur?
no, I'm actually more interested in the cellar itself. I'd love to see the architecture.
He looks a little crestfallen, and he's like, well,
I know dwarven ale, though.
yeah.
I could get into one.
So you want to learn?
I could.
All right. Well, I guess I could have a few minutes, and he leads you down into the basement. Lorik, do you follow?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So he doesn't notice until he gets down there, and then there is like he's like, oh. And there's like a very potent, like, oh shit, am I gonna get murdered or raped in this? But
so true.
a few seconds pass, and he's like, well, if I were gonna be getting murdered, I'd probably be getting murdered by now. And so, side note, it's a little side story. I went on a cruise, and we stopped at Dominica, and every other excursion or whatever we went on was through the ship, and very well, like there was a tour guide and 4 or 5 other couples, but this one we had booked online. And Dominica, while a very beautiful country, was devastated by a hurricane. It's all like cinder block buildings, and they're like it's impoverished. And we get into a 15-passenger van with just the driver, And he's just leading us like down through like ghetto after ghetto after ghetto. It's just like at any moment, it's like we could take a left turn here and never be seen again. And it was pretty unsettling for a while. Then after like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I was like, I'm pretty sure if he was going to murder us, it would have happened by now. Ended up being the best tour. The guy's name was Ashton. He was fucking awesome. He was the best tour guide ever. And it was just, but yeah, that first half an hour was a little sketchy.
Ashton,
Anyway,
we'd like
sorry
to
for
be
the
a
side
sponsor.
tangent.
We would love to have you.
Yeah,
Right?
Beautiful country.
Dominica as a country. We'd love to have you as a sponsor.
Yeah. The tourism board, I'll talk so much about how we did not get murdered in your country. It was great.
Do you not want to get murdered? Then I have the place for
Place
you.
for you.
And when you think you might get murdered, but then you don't, it's kind of like the difference between a normal day is when your football team just blows out the opponent, and that's cool.
And that is the best day where you think you're going to die but don't.
Exactly. It's like winning a really close game.
Dominica, when you think you're going to die but don't.
Ashton, if you're watching this, how you doing, buddy?
All right.
All right. Sorry about that. So you're in the cellar, and he just kind of like whisks you past there. It's just like storage everywhere. And you round the corner, and there's just this massive, like, I would say probably 15 feet wide by, like, you kind of have to go, you go down to the basement, and then you go down more steps to get to it, and it opens up. So it's like 20 feet high, and it's just casks of wine. It's just a wall of like, I don't know, 100 casks of wine, just like 10 across by 10 high. And
now I know why you didn't want to expand.
Well, like I said, it is quite adequate. And these are some of the finest wines. So this vintage, and he starts going into like, it's from this year.
Like, yes. I'm looking at everything, just like looking for.
Yep.
Perception, I think.
Yeah, give me a investigation.
Oh, yeah. Investigation.
Josh, do you want to help him? Hold on.
Yeah.
Or your own investigation. So Jake can either roll with advantage because you aid him, or you both can just roll regular investigation.
I'm helping, kind of. Like, I'll probably point something out. Like, if I
Sure,
see
yeah.
it. To be honest, Lark's kind of just.
That's a natural 20.
That's
then.
what-
You're looking and you're like, this all checks out, and you feel confident, and he's been talking the whole time, and you're like, and it's just like this year had just the right amount of rain. Normally, this one season, this one particular area gets heavy rainfall, and the constant rainfall made the ground very lush. But then this one year, the moderate rainfall, it made for just some of the best grapes ever, and that's like kind of what you come back to, and you're like, oh, this is. It's been like 8 minutes, and you're just like, holy shit. And you're like, you've searched and you're sure.
He's
like you're
a sommelier radic, basically. Is what
Yeah.
is.
So he's a cool guy. Right. You guys can stop right now. He ain't connected to no.
I go, by the way, I don't think I ever caught your name.
Oh, my name is Bjorn Twicewiner. His name is Alaro.
Hello, I'm Bjorn. It is very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And that is interesting. The lack of rain made better wine.
It wasn't lack of rain. See, it was lack of over rain. It wasn't exactly the right amount of rain. It's just less than usual. It's really fascinating. But yeah, so you searched, and you're pretty satisfied. Like, you're pretty sure that there's not, without being able to like go and knock on shit.
Just like confident, just visual. Like,
there's nothing down here.
there's
And
no
then
signs that anything's been opened up.
just as he turns to walk away, Lorik leans in and he says, "There's no space between the barrels." And you look and you notice that, like, so, you know, picture like circles together. Normally there'd be this like just kind of dark shadow that goes back, and you inspect it and you can see that it goes back, but it only goes back like 4 or 5 inches. And then there's some sort of filler. Like, these casks are actually like filled in between, as if they were to be a false wall.
All right. So
What vintage is this? I ask as I point to those barrels.
Yeah, like, and that's the beauty of it. Was Lorik didn't discover it. He just gave. It was the advantage that he gave was how Jake or Bjorn was able to find it. So
I actually get. I'm in my naivety. I'm actually paying attention.
right.
And I'm like, what vintage is this? What is in these? As
And they were just like an in-passing thing, like, hey, that's weird. There's no space between those barrels. Okay, let's go. And then Bjorn was able to put that together. So,
I'm just looking at it for a second. And I'm like, does he notice I'm just lingering?
the sommelier. Yeah. And he's like, I know it's tough to pull yourself away, but I can't leave you down here, and I really need to get back to work.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll be back then if you have any more free time, if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, this is very interesting. I would love to learn how more or less rain makes for better grape juice. I'm sorry, I don't know the proper word.
It's fine. So there's no. I'd heard about like some stronger. No wine at all for dwarves, huh?
There's probably we don't. I mean, you don't see vines growing underground.
You poor people. All right, well let's go.
We have an
Yeah, that's why everything's
Yeah.
fucking fermented now.
All right, so that probably took 20 plus minutes. So meanwhile, outside we've got Brother Radek and Alistair. What are you guys doing?
I'm pretending to fix my shoes that are in impeccable shape.
I
Nice.
say,
Trying to
actually,
catch
20 minutes is
everybody's
probably
eyes.
just long enough for Radek to finish whatever sentence he was on when.
yeah. Yeah, as soon as they walk into the tent, I just turn to Radek and I say, I think this is a good plan. I'll be right back. And I run that toward
Plan?
the little
What?
the
I don't know
tranquil
what the plan
canopy.
is. Well, I'll start packing up my stuff. And I'm gonna have to follow him because he didn't tell me.
All right, so you go to
The
what the fuck
tranquil
is it?
canopy.
Tranquil Canopy. All right, so you go and you see, like, you go rushing to the door. And there is this blue bastard, even bigger than Lorik,
Huh.
standing at the door. Give me a nature check. I would accept nature or history.
I would love to do history then.
Yeah, either one of those is fine.
Natural one.
Yeah,
He would love to do nature.
I would love to roll again.
you might maybe remember what this guy is, but you're too busy thinking about having sex in the grass.
Yeah.
So it's or with the grass. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
either
so
way.
some big motherfucker standing at the door, and he doesn't look happy to see you.
You know what he gets distracted by in his biology is the fact he's like, wait a minute. Bjorn said there's no dwarf women?
That just hits me. Holy shite.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'll walk over to the guy and I'll say, I'd love to tell you an interesting bit of information. Did you know that there's no such thing as a dwarf woman? Plus, I love that particular shade of blue. And I cast Charm Person on him.
All right.
A wisdom saving throw?
What's your DC?
14.
And what type of save is it?
Wisdom.
Excellent.
What if he's not people?
It's a humanoid.
He's a humanoid.
Yeah.
The amount of natural 20s and 1s. this
Seriously,
we've seen.
we are
Yeah.
campaign of extremes.
I think we've seen less 10s than we have 1s and 20s.
Yeah, right. And so he looks at you and he reaches out and grabs you by like the scruff of your chest, and he says, "Not your clothes."
Would you like them? I don't know that they'll fit. You're a little bit large for them.
This is when I come walking in, I guess.
That's you approach just as he's grabbed him by the shirt. Yeah, and he's not your clothes.
Well, what seems to be the problem, sir? I'm just coming in and I see you accosting my friend. I would think that's not something that you would do in a normal establishment. And by the way, look at your shoes, sir. You really need to get some work done on.
No, he's barefoot.
That's why I'm saying it. You could use some good shoes. I'm a cobbler by trade. Do you know anybody who needs some cobbling done?
And he looks at you for a second and then looks at you. Not your concern, not your clothes.
Oh, well, that's just not good.
Alistair, roll insight.
I don't know that I need to, but all right. 16.
You better get out of these fucking clothes.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'll start undressing.
And like in all that, he had mentioned something about it being Octan's clothes, who is the maitre d'. And
well, I know exactly what he meant. This is
yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure if
for those of you playing along at home.
Sir, I don't think he needs to give you those clothes. He won them fair and square in a gambling match with the individual that owned them.
Roll deception.
Aha! Oh God. What is I probably don't have very good deception. No.
Actually, you know what? There's no point because he knows that to not be true.
Really 18.
Yeah, either way, it's 18.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a natural 20 then.
Yeah, well, no, it's one of the like even a natural. It's just he knows that to not be true. I heard a lie, so I was like, "Oh, roll for your lie," but it's just
yes.
His friend came back and told him about how Alistair beat the shit out of him and took his clothes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Shows up wearing his clothes. Like it's obvious that.
Yeah, I totally forgot that they had done that.
Yeah. So, Alistair, what are you doing?
I'll take off the clothes.
So yeah, he's like you go now.
Well, I'd love to come inside for just a moment.
Not welcome.
Let me ask you a question. You ever hear of a lady named Triss?
I hear lots of things.
How did you hear this thing specifically? I mean, you took me clothes, you took me dignity. At least answer a question.
No.
Are you an economic being of sorts?
No.
Do you appreciate the value of a gold piece?
Do you wear underwear?
No.
No, I'm thinking of Alice.
Neither do I. I didn't have any.
So you're getting naked right there?
Yeah, I'm naked here at the moment.
He is buck naked in front of this giant blue guy.
Yeah, who like does not give two shits.
Is the blue guy naked?
No, why would the blue guy be naked? He's a bouncer. He was shoeless.
Because this is part of some fantasy porn that he's seen before.
The blue guy isn't just like, hey, get naked, just like me.
Blanket statement for the rest of the campaign: if somebody is naked in a public situation, I'll mention that. That to be assumed.
That makes sense.
Well, then it wouldn't be a he; it'd be an it.
Oh, true. You're right.
Hey, do you guys notice there's a fucking black bear serving as a bouncer to the tranquil canopy? I mean, he talks. So like,
don't fuck with that place.
He's blue. I don't know. Right. Sorry.
And then I'll just say, still standing there naked. Do you know a Brown? And I'm trying to look at his expression, see if it changes.
Yeah, no, there is nothing.
How about a trio? Tiro. Trow.
No.
He does not
I think it's Tiro, but I think you might be distracted by your manliness, if you know what I'm saying.
I'll take a look and see if he's checking out my junk. Insight. I'm rolling an insight. 18.
Not. Like, he is so freaking solemn and just stone-faced and just stare like, and when he looks from you to Radek and back to you, it's not the way a normal person glances. It goes from like staring a hole in your head to staring a hole in Radek's head to staring a hole in your head. He's just got this like really intent gaze. And hold on, I'm rolling to see how offended he is.
I would think though that Alistair has such an ego that he would automatically just assume he's looking at his junk.
Yes.
Well, that's what the insight.
That's the
roll
insight was for. Yeah.
He was.
So I haven't been proven otherwise then, because I rolled an 18.
Right. It's like, is he? No, I would notice because I'm super uncomfortable by how intently he's staring me directly in the eyes. Like,
Yeah.
So, Radek, when you say that, he reaches out and grabs you by the chest, unless you try to dodge or get away.
He's gonna attempt to grab me, huh?
Just like by the shirt, just like he did with Alex.
I won't do anything yet.
All right, so he grabs it and just rips it off you.
Oh, if he's gonna try to rip my clothes off, then
It's
I will
too
do
late
something.
now.
Well, there's a difference between I'm gonna grab you and I'm gonna. As soon as he
No.
starts
So that's the
pulling-
thing. Like he reached out and grabbed your shirt just like this. You didn't stop him. Once he has that,
Once he starts pulling, I'll do something because I have a reaction that I can do. So as soon as he starts to pull, that's when my reaction would go off.
there's no reaction to someone like.
Well, you can
ripping
still
your-
tear. Yeah, he can still react as the shirt.
Because
tear.
I have a reaction that I can do in combat, and this is what I would
Well,
do.
like, all right. So what do you do? So he's
It's-
grabbed you by the shirt. You've
it's-
allowed him to grab
here.
you by the shirt.
It's
And
called
now he-
it's called warding flare. So this is something that I do in combat. If somebody's going to hit me, then I can wait, see the roll, and then as a reaction, I can do warding flare, which is a big flash of light. Whoosh. So it's pretty much like the same thing.
All right. So now I can totally see, like, if I'm trying to swing a sword at you,
Mhm.
and you shoot a flare in my eyes, it's like, oh shit, maybe I missed with the sword. If I'm holding your shirt and I try to pull it away from you, and you
Right.
put something in my eyes, ripping something that's already in my hand does not require vision. You can gouge my eyes out.
But so the shirt might tear, but he's also blinded.
True, and it might not be as bad of a tear because as he starts to pull to tear it, the flash goes off and he might go so it might not be as much as a full.
Sure. That
You know what I'm
might
saying?
happen. All right, so
We were half sure.
So let me read it first to see what the okay. So when attacked by a creature within 30 feet of you that you can see, you can use your reaction to impose a disadvantage on the attack roll. Okay, so it's just opposing for a disadvantage on the attack roll, but he's already got me.
yeah, he's not rolling an attack.
Okay, so yeah, so
Does it
so-
distract
so
him
don't-
enough where I can grab a pair of pants and a jacket and run?
From what? From where? Where? Like you just? Is there like a
What is he doing with the other clothes?
cabinet full of loose clothing?
No, I'm talking about the clothes that he just took from me. I would have
in
taken
his
off
other
and left him on the
hand,
ground.
Do you want? If, like, you can certainly try.
Yes.
Oh, I fucking love you guys. All right,
Hold on,
so
let me
there's
see.
a couple things I need to establish. Will, do you do the warding flare?
Yeah, I think I would anyway.
Okay.
Just as an attempt to
This guy's turned into chaos.
escape
Burning down an inn.
to escape from him. 'Cause
All right, so
I'm more of a peaceful man first, so
If
I
only we had the two fighters here.
if this happens to go away, I just want to remind you guys that the way I introduced this guy is that he's bigger than
Yes.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
we got that
Yes.
part. Yeah, we got it.
I don't intend on trying to fight him. Man. I'm intending to use this as a distraction to hopefully run away from this man.
Sure. All right. So, so he goes to rip your shirt off, and he just kind of like one fluid motion goes to tear it down. You throw this flare up in his eyes, and it does stop him to the point where like he pulls down. You hear just like he
Like
tears the
stretch
shit, but it doesn't
Right.
tear off. Like he rips the hell out of it, you know. And if it were a shirt, the collar would just be destroyed.
It's fixable.
Right.
But it's still on you, and
That's what I was trying to avoid because I just envisioned, you know how they have those tearaway clothes like the basketball players just go. That's what I was envisioning happening.
that's what was going to happen.
Yeah,
And it's
that's what I wanted to
like-
avoid.
All right, so Adam, give me an athletics check.
Athletics. You sure you want athletics?
Well, so I'm treating trying to take something out of somebody's hand kind of like a grapple check.
That's fair.
I don't really like.
That's fair.
If it were off his person, it'd be sleight of hand.
Yeah, so I was gonna say sleight of hand, but all right.
Now, but there's like that element of like, if you're trying to snatch something out of somebody's hand, you got to do it like fast, and it's more of like a jerk it out. So I'm gonna go with an athletics type deal.
Okay. 19.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so shockingly good, really.
Yeah. So it's right as he you go to grab it at the same second he goes to raise his hand up and like from being blinded, and you just snatch the clothes right out of his hand.
And I just yell, "Radek, run!" And I turn invisible.
I'm already turning invisible.
No. Roll initiative. Because while you're thinking Radek run, he's thinking smash. So yeah.
Do we have a turn tracker?
Oh, this is going to be quick. I don't know. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, we can just keep track.
Natural 1.
Fantastic. All right, so Will, you hear Adam say, or Radek, you hear Alistair say, "Run," and you're up.
I run. I turn and I do my full move, and then I do my turn just moving. Then I'll stop and look over my shoulder and look for Alistair after I've moved.
So, Alistair, you you turn, you're like, "Run," and you look back, and the whole thing is just like in slow motion. You just watch this giant fist, like just as you turn back to look at this big blue motherfucker, his fist is already on a downward motion, and you're just able to sidestep like towards the building away from him, and it just comes down, and he's still like kind of like half blinded and flailing, and then the other fist just comes in this huge swinging hook, and you're able to duck under it, and it hits the building instead, and there's just like a large like dent, and pieces like chunks of the building have fallen off, and you're just like, and the thud when it hits is just so solid, and you're like very, very thankful that didn't hit you.
Yeah.
And now it's your turn.
The good news is that I don't think if you die that he's going to kill you intentionally.
Unlike you, what you're saying.
He's just going to misjudge beating you.
Don't go for his throat. If I've learned anything in any of my D&D playing years, don't bite his throat out.
That's wrong, DM. Always bite his throat out.
I am not going to bite anyone's throat. I don't even. Not only do I not have armor or weapons, I'm holding my clothes in my hand. So I'm just going to say, bye-bye now. Turn invisible and run.
All right.
Does that require material components?
I don't know.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you don't have your arcane focus.
I don't have my arcane focus.
I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I've drank enough.
Oh, no, so that silence earlier wouldn't have happened? You're without your spell casting.
We'll say it's, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm too drunk.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Silence.
What I will do is, I don't know if any cantrips have them, but I'm going to homebrew you can cast cantrips without a material focus or any components.
Eyelash encased in gum Arabic. What the hell is gum Arabic?
It's like something you don't have because you carry it.
It's like a resin. They used to use it to make ink, actually. If I'm thinking the right thing.
All right. So in that case, I am going to disengage and run.
All right, so yeah, you just like you turn and run and don't look back, and you can hear this like just behind you. It seems to be getting fainter as you like. He doesn't sound like he's chasing you.
So, side note: gum Arabic in modern usage, it's actually a kind of acacia, and they use it in the food industry. Isn't that fun? It's like a glue, and they put it in your food.
Huh? So maybe we can find some in the tavern.
The more
all that processed food back in the medieval fantasy world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start heading back toward the screaming broomstick.
Sure.
And after a while, I'm like still running and like trying to pull my pants on at the same time, like one of those deals.
It's practice for you.
Yeah, I've
So
usually it's somebody's husband or father chasing me, but this is.
Well, you don't know. Now you're presuming that wasn't his.
But because I was porking his wife or daughter is what I'm saying. That's,
You don't know what the maitre d' means to this guy.
that's true.
That's true.
That's true. I don't.
There's been otter pairs. All right, so we'll say that right about the time you reach the broomstick, then is when Lorik and Bjorn are coming out of the big tent.
I just start looking around like,
Way to actually accomplish shit while they just get tangled up with the giant.
they're normally looking for his scald shit and he goes missing, son of a bitch.
And then, like, you look up and you see him booking across the center market here with like a pair of pants, hat. Like he has like one leg in and he's trying to hop into the other leg, and he's got like his shirt is like pinned between his shoulder and his head. He's trying to move. It's quite the sight.
I think we have the same perception, so I'm right.
What was that, Lorik?
I have like the same passive perception, I think, as him. So I would.
Oh
say
yeah, you see it too, for sure. Yeah.
It was like, Bjorn, I believe that Alistair is naked again.
Partially naked at this
You're right,
point.
big guy. And just goes, scald!
In like 2 weeks, you've seen his ass probably more than anyone else's.
So true.
Screaming scald at this point. It's like, God damn it.
You just so as you're booking across, you hear Bjorn yelling "scald" at you.
Say regroup. Regroup.
I just look at him, oh fuck.
Lurk just kind of looks down at Bjorn like, huh.
Here, scald here.
So it's been over an hour now. What's his face? Teddy there said he needed at least an hour to perform a ritual, and he might have some more information for you. This has killed enough of that time.
I think it's about time to go talk to Teddy again.
I
think he might be right.
While you're out of breath and half naked. And
Yeah. My shirt is misbuttoned.
Did you lose all the gold that I gave you?
No, I've got the gold.
You
Where
should have seen the size of this blue man.
His prison pouch.
Prison purse.
But anyway, moving on for my horrifying joke.
You should have seen the size of this blue man that we just encountered that took most of Alistair's clothes.
He took them all. I took them back.
The blue man.
Yes, he was massive. I've never seen a person that big in my entire life. And he expanded the clothes off of Alistair.
So here's the thing. We're gonna need to get some more to get into the tranquil canopy, and I could tell you Radek and I are not going to be able to get in.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you that I am not welcomed.
Yeah,
We were just in the canopy.
No, you were in the big tent.
actually, no, big and blue. Yeah, that was a Furbolg.
Wait, aren't there 3 inns? Weren't we just in the canopy? That's the big 10, right?
You were in the big tent.
No,
the
the
tranquil
big tent
canopy
is
is a
the big
different one.
tent.
The
Tranquil canopy, is that the hoity-toity one that you're...
Yes.
Yeah.
my bad.
From now on, it'll be known as the fancy canopy.
Yeah.
And then it'll be distinguished.
When Radek says big blue guy, I'm like, a furbolg?
Yeah.
You saw a furbolg?
Like, that's it.
I
And like, you go through your like, all right, big and blue. And you're like, that's like literally your learning on Furbolgs is big and blue. Furbolg.
And as soon as he says that, I say, no dwarven women, eh?
You saw
gives
For
us-
some reason, the furball triggers that every time now.
Is that what you think?
Well, I'm rolling to know what he... never mind. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah, no.
Can I? Is the market open?
Oh, yeah.
Can I, if you could do me a favor here, lads? I just want to check to see if there's maybe sort of a musical instrument I could purchase here from the marketplace. Might help us out, big picture.
I have a lyre.
Well, you tell the
Which
truth
is
all the
interesting
time.
because
find
I was
that
going to say that's
hard to believe, sir.
it's a very ironic.
I have a lyre. Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, you can definitely find a musical instrument in the market.
Flute would be fine.
Just whatever it is in the PHB.
Oh, and can I get a lute? Well, let me see how much I don't have a lot of money.
Well, so I was gonna say whatever it is in the PHB, it's twice as expensive here though.
Yeah.
And you have like there's a lute, a lyre, like a pan flute. It's not a huge selection, but there's a handful of
I
instruments.
think there's
Oh, dude, totally get the pan flute.
Yeah, I might have to actually.
I'm still just like, you saw a furbolg.
Nice, right over there. Angry son of a bitch.
What is a furbolg?
You pissed off a furbolg.
What is it?
Big.
Even you wouldn't want to contend with it.
Lord's like the fuck I wouldn't.
I actually just growl.
It's they're normally benevolent.
Oh. Why don't we go speak with you?
And you pissed one off. I'll say that.
I think what happened was is if I'm not mistaken, the vibe I was getting is that the maitre d', which was rudely
No
treated
flute,
by you
huh?
individuals, means something to this individual. But I could be wrong.
All right,
But you're not.
I can't afford any of those instruments. I say, Lork, do you mind if I borrow your lyre for a while? Just until I find my stuff.
No, this is mine.
Before I forget, there was a compartment in the basement of the tent.
What?
Yeah, the furbolg thing distracted me. I'm sorry.
Is that what was with those casks?
Yeah, that's why I pretended to like their stupid grape juice.
I don't know.
He was talking about rain quantities and how it impacts local crops, and it was fascinating. My village could learn much.
All right, well, let's table this for a moment. So, now here's the thing. Now, if we're to believe that Abner, who seems to be the resident thief in the big tent,
Well, the thing is, he was there all night. Doesn't necessarily mean he works for them.
that's true. I think
Right.
we need to
and
get.
that's actually something. Well, you wouldn't have had to mention it. You would have been able to infer. So when Teddy's talking about each one of these inns has a thief, or it's like a kind of like a handyman, like some part sabotage, part thief, part whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're never going to hit themselves.
Right.
So, like, if you guys figure out who worked for the Screaming Broomstick, you know that they didn't rob you, because they're not going to send people in to rob their own patrons. It's just bad business. It's not the
Right.
right.
But Abner was there all night.
Yeah, so you don't know if maybe he was
Yeah, we
off
don't. Yeah.
duty or if he was casing the place.
Yeah. All right.
Should
But-
we go see?
Let's go see Teddy and see if we can get a little more information.
Perhaps Sally wishes for more rabbit.
I
Yeah,
just laugh at that and keep walking towards the
as it were.
Wait,
yes.
no, I was thinking it was more towards lunch. It's only been like an hour. Never mind.
I mean, it's like
Well, for guys like you, though, you eat all the time.
right.
Yeah, 6
I mean,
square a
it's-
day.
So when you guys ate
Guys like
breakfast
you.
with
What do you mean, guys? Like,
so when you guys ate breakfast with Teddy, that was like all of your second breakfast, because Lorik made breakfast for you when you got up.
That's right.
At 7, 8 a.m. This was like 10 a.m. So now you're pushing like 11:30. You know, by the time
Oh,
you
so
get
it is lunch. All right.
yeah, give or take. I mean, he might not be ready for lunch because he got up at 10 a.m., but you guys got up at normal hours, so it's
Makes sense.
lunch for you. But anyway, so off to Teddy's.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so you get there and knock on the door.
Mhm.
fucker's gone, isn't he?
Nope. It is the exact same scuffle, woman's giggle, pause. Teddy answers the door, shirtless. Like, yep. Oh, you're fast this time. All right, come on in.
Let's go. Ritual, huh? Just walk in.
No, he just takes a long time, and we interrupted the first one.
I got more in common.
That was the ritual.
They have more in common with the rabbits than we thought.
I like it. No, I'm glad to see you guys again. I'll be honest, I really didn't have much hope for the ritual, but I was able to glean some very valuable
When
information.
he says, I look at Sally like,
Well, no, it went it went faster than I thought it would. So we had some time to kill.
I hear that is a problem that some small men have.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I don't know if I would actually say that. I'm a little drunk. I'm sorry.
I like it. And he just kind of looks you up, and he's like, "Oh, you big boys got stamina, huh?" And
Sometimes.
We don't need the details.
yeah, you know what, gentlemen? It's really neither here nor there. I have good news for you, though. So I have friends, and some of them have whatever. I was able to glimpse into the psychic plane. It's a little bit beyond me, but I was a spectator, and I was able to see. I can tell you that one of these thieves had an early night last night. Whatever they did, they were able to achieve it very quickly, and were in bed by 9 p.m.
It was not Triss.
And I don't know. Oh, well, yes, I guess you saw her, didn't you? You with your powers of deduction, huh?
and Teddy was at the tent the whole night. Or not Teddy, whatever the fuck his name is.
Abner.
Abner.
You're right.
Yeah.
I can tell you another one of them headed out, left the village about an hour before dawn. Well, I shouldn't say left the village. It's tough. The verbiage was kind of concluded their business. So whoever these thieves, whoever they robbed, whatever they were trying to accomplish, I was able to glean when they were able to do it. And what we have is early in the evening. Again, they don't have like a 9 p.m. I'm giving that to you guys just for the sake of something you can relate to. And then there was another one who was about an hour or so before sunrise. There was another one, and we're going to call that 4 a.m.
We went to bed around 3.
Yep. So you guys went to bed around 3. There was like someone who got shit done at 4, someone who got shit done at 5, right around this is sunrise in Ravanna, 5 a.m. And then someone who got their shit done about an hour after sunrise, which would be 6 a.m.
The 3 a.m. one's probably our biggest bet. Gotta figure out who that is.
There is no 3 a.m.
Well, the
4 a.m., 5
the
a.m.,
one at
6
4
a.m.
a.m. I meant because we went to bed at 3. So
Do not make such assumptions yet.
I mean, you guys didn't wake up until 8, so it could be any of the 4, 5, or 6. You just know whoever went, had the early night. Like, they were in bed before you even got rolling. Like, they were asleep before you even started your keg.
Yeah, that's true. So one's out. The question is which one?
Well, Abner and Triss, is it Triss? Abner and Triss are out?
Well, Triss wasn't the one who went to bed early, but that doesn't mean she didn't rob you.
He's not out.
Abner wasn't around us at the time we got robbed. If he was at the bar the whole night.
Right.
So...
And also the timing of the waitress when she said he left is the same time that he's saying one of these guys made their mark and left.
Okay, so he wasn't the guy, more than likely.
Yeah.
Which means we got, what is it, Truss something? Troya?
Trio, Triss, and
T-Row.
Brown. T-Row,
That's right.
Triss, and Brown.
T-Row.
Right.
Let's go back. See what we could find out at the unless we want to split up Because we're not going to be able to get back into the tranquil canopy.
Well, you're not.
Because you pissed off.
Right, that's what I mean.
Say that again. Just
Well, to be fair, he was pissed off before we got there.
Why?
But again, he was pissed off at you specifically. It was
That's
directly
so
as
true.
a result of your own actions.
a verbal. You just keep reiterating that, just mind's
Right.
blown.
So I just picture like cheating on your girlfriend or something, and then like the next day showing up and being like, "What the fuck are you pissed about? You were mad when I got here for no reason."
Not
And
just
then-
cheating on the girlfriend, but like showing her pictures of him. Yeah, this is what happened. What you gonna do about it? And then the next day, just be like,
I know, yeah, she was pissed when I showed up. There was no talking to her. Unreasonable.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm still just baffled about the fact that Furbolg was mad at you.
You clearly need to go fucking talk to this verbal.
So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go talk to them.
I'm curious about this blue man.
All right. So we've got Team Twice Crusher. Thrice Crusher? Lorik's got to be at least a six. So yeah, you guys are Team Thrice Crusher now. Lorik's got one big crush, and then Bjorn's got the two follow-up. Team Thrice Crusher is heading to the Fancy Canopy. Fancy Canopy is way better than the Tranquil
We can
Canopy.
go Team Twice
We can
Mercy.
change it. I don't care.
It's the Fancy Canopy now. All right, so we've Team Thrice Crusher to the Fancy Canopy. What is I don't know, Talker and the Drunk gonna do? You guys are an AM or an FM morning radio show.
Well,
I think we should go and talk to the people inside the Screaming Broomstick.
well, we could do that. I think it would.
If you're
I
going
don't
to
know.
suggest cobbling
Uh-huh.
shoes again, I'm going to have to say it's not the answer.
I will sit down, start pulling my tools.
Excellent.
I don't know how you plan on making any kind of money, sir. I mean,
I'll just keep talking to Lorik. He seems to have quite a bit.
fine.
And we already know that Bjorn
That's
has
so
some
you'll
also.
Make, like, as much money in one simple exchange with Lorik as you will cobbling shoes for 2 months.
Right? That's so true too.
Like 20 gold is definitely like several months salary for a cobbler.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, it's also like he said half, and like I was like, no, 20 gold, and it's like that's almost half.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, there's no fault being thrown. I just love it. All right, so we've got but like, are you calling out prices? Are you trying to draw people in at all?
Well,
Redick?
no, I start to do that and then I stop and then I go, well, if I wish someone could sneak down into the bottom of the tent and take a
Well, I'm
closer-
gonna need a little help with that. See, I could probably do it, but I can't.
You need a diversion, is what you need, sir.
I do need a
need a
diversion. This is actually not this is an interesting idea. Let's talk about what diversion you would like to give.
I could go in and start preaching a sermon, because once the word of the Amon starts rolling off of my lips, my tongue, I mean, it tends to captivate people and get their attention.
So
All right.
come here.
We're
Just,
going to take our second break right here because my bladder's full, and we'll be back.
Very good. I broke the seal.
Yeah, right. We'll try to make it a quick one and see if we can be back by. I got 10:40 on my clock now. Let's see if we can be back on air by 10:43.
Yeah.
we could do better than that. We'll be back.
Back.
And we're back. Exactly 3 minutes, because I'm sure no one remembered what Jared said,
We shot for 3.
or understands how clocks work.
Yeah.
So, I guess what we needed to figure out is whether Triss works for the same place, because she's not going to rob the place that she works for.
Nope.
I don't know if she's got an understanding with the place. That might be exactly where she robs out of.
Well, no, like,
we were told
Teddy
already they won't do
specifically
it.
stated
If she
that
works for them, she's not going to rob them and give them a bad name.
Yeah, we already found that out.
Right, because the purpose of these thieves is not like the inn owners are corrupt and are trying to just get as much money as they
Oh,
possibly
that's
can.
right. They're making.
They're
the other
trying to
places
sabotage
look
the
bad.
other inns.
Yeah, that's right. That's my bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking devious.
Yeah. We're overthinking it, guys.
Right.
The other possibility is the Thieves Guild, and if someone's making plays without their okay, they might help us.
Yeah.
Not to mention too the fact that Thieves Guild honestly would be interested if they could identify any of the items Alistair had on his person.
But they wouldn't have known it beforehand, though.
No.
No, but if they saw you that night, it's all it would take.
I mean, Alistair probably did look like a mark. Like it would definitely be
Rich
like if you're
guy,
a mugger and you see a well-dressed guy.
I
you
wasn't
don't
well
know that he's
dressed.
got
I was
$5,000.
shittily. I was dressed like a commoner.
That's true, actually. He
true.
was dressed more like
But
a
you were
commoner.
playing like a rock star.
Yeah.
That's true.
But either way, I wouldn't rule out the Thieves Guild as a possibility.
Yeah, well, like any of them. Like clearly, whatever thief it was, clearly like saw something where it was
Yeah.
worth looking through your pack. And
So we're on okay terms with the broomstick still. We should at least figure out what we can about Triss in the area of the broomstick.
Well,
See if it's
I know I was going.
No, you guys are. I thought you guys are going to the other place, because we can't go
You
there.
can. I guess I'm going with the discussion beforehand. Then like.
okay, yeah. More just like a general strategy thing. All right, so we'll jump back into character. So Lorik and Bjorn headed to the broomstick. I don't remember.
Other way around. They were going to the canopy.
Yeah, sorry, the fancy canopy. Radic and Alistair, what were you guys doing?
We were going to
Big tent. Or the,
Big Tent to make a distraction and
That's right. That's right.
To be honest, I don't picture us getting into the big canopy for the record. I just wanted to talk to a furbolg.
Sure.
Yeah,
I know, but
I'm
we
very-
still have to find. There's still information we need to find out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys arrive, and there it is. There's a furbolg. Lorik, you look at him, and he's probably only 2 inches taller than you. He's not that much tall, but he is big. Like if you had to guess, he's probably got 150 pounds on you.
well,
And and Goliaths are very like how do I put it? Like
Is
lean.
he kind of giant? Because we're kind of familiar with that.
Furbolgs, no.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like although you don't know that because Bjorn told you he was a furbolg, and it's just like a word, like it means nothing. It's just like as if you were like he's a Flischnemerner. Like, oh yeah, Flischnemerner.
Ah, yes, a Flischmanöger.
And then you see your first Flischnemerner, and you're like, oh, he's big. He's a big boy. But he's like where like Goliaths are the 400 pounds that are just like shredded and have like 4% body fat and are just like this lean, huge guy. He's more of like, he doesn't have a gut, but he's got like
He's hulking.
he looks like
Yeah.
a power lifter.
he just looks big. He doesn't look like a power lifter. He just looks like Hodor. He's just like a big motherfucker. Not like I lifted a bunch of weights to get big, which is not
He's
what
farmer
Goliaths
strong.
are, but it's how they look.
Farmer Strong versus Jim Strong.
There you go. Yeah. He's farmer strong. That's the perfect.
I
way-
like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use that.
Anyway, I just walk right up to him like, "How's it going, man?"
And he just-
How's it going, man?
I'm gonna translate the slang to appropriate.
Yeah, I just didn't know like.
But I wouldn't know how to say it. Yeah, that's fine.
How art thou, verily, Furbolg kindred?
What's up, my blue brother?
There you go.
Remember that time Bjorn got entirely crushed by fur?
Hey, like I honestly, I think if he tried to smash you, it would just like slam his hand down on a thumbtack, kind of. Just,
Right? Ow!
But anyway,
and he just kind of nods and he's good morning.
mind if I wander in there?
There is.
I think you're the bouncer. That's why I'm asking.
I man the door.
Does that mean bouncer?
There is a dress code.
Well, that's fair. I was just hoping I could ask a couple questions. A buddy of mine had his stuff stolen.
No.
You mind if I talk to you then? Not necessarily about that. I just would like to know why my scald seemed to have pissed you off.
Oh, don't mention you're friends with
Yeah.
me.
Yep, too late.
Give me an insight check.
Followed by an intimidation check.
Followed by initiative.
Oh, balls.
Right.
All right.
3.
So he doesn't respond, and you have no idea why.
I was like, all right.
Out of character is because you asked him 2
Yeah.
questions, the answer to which one was no and the other was yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Lorik's just kind of staring at him the whole time, like warring between his curiosity and his competitive nature. He's like, this man's bigger.
Yep. And Laura, give me an insight check too.
A 12.
So not only do you notice this look he gives you, where there's like this it's like big man camaraderie, like fucking little people. You get it, right? Not only do you realize that, you also realize that why he didn't answer Jake's question is because he did it in one single run-on question as if it were one, but it were like 2 to 3 questions that all have varying answers, and he's not going to go through and break down, like just like you wouldn't.
It's like, yes,
This
no,
little
no.
big man camaraderie thing, I actually relax a bit, and like, there goes the whole competitive thing. I'm not that competitive.
Right.
And I just kind of just give him a little smile and just shake my head.
Like exactly what you are to this group, he is to whatever he has to deal with. And he's
On a regular.
the truthful, short-answered. Like the people, little men complicate things so much. But that's
I just kind of like, well, we're just wondering if knew what happened to some blankets, I guess. He's missing.
Oh, there are so many.
I interrupted
There are so many questions to ask. And
I
that's
looked at one with some fancy-
that's the
I
one you
wait
start off
for
with.
the Firbolg.
no.
I wait for him to look back up at me, because I assume he just kind of looks at Bjorn at that, and just kind of looks at me like, "What the hell?"
He's actually like using the same insight score. You expected that, and then he didn't, and you realize that it's just he's come to expect this stupid shit
Weirdness.
from people. Yeah. And it's like, this is dumb, but that tracks. And he just gives a simple one-word answer, and that is it.
All right, good number.
What was his one-word answer? I didn't hear you.
He'd asked if he had seen any stolen pillows, and he said no.
Well, I asked for if he saw fancy.
It was
Fancy pillows.
No.
I kind of just wait for that to, like, short of it, his scald was broomstick.
oh, you know.
I've heard.
Oh man.
Good.
You have heard? Can you share information about this?
Your friend was angry and assaulted my friend.
It was wrong. Our other companion healed him for the act.
Technically, I healed him myself.
Oh,
To be fair.
he healed him. When he healed.
He did.
I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
He speed bagged him and then immediately.
He healed him when he realized the error of his ways.
That would have been the great line. Like, you got broomstick. Well, you're about to get speed bagged.
That would have been good. Yeah.
Let's see which one is worse. The answer, still broomstick. Because his nuts got healed. You still don't have all your shit.
I'll take speed bag over broomstick. That sounds awful.
At least at the end of that, you get healed.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah. What?
Even if you did.
Like that's some
Even
Vlad the
so.
Impaler shit right there.
I don't know. I'd opt for neither if that were a choice.
Right. If I could choose.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
But yeah, I Lorik would be like, my companion, or the Skald, healed him when he realized the error of his ways.
He just gives you like a nod.
I'm sorry about that. He's a weird one.
We seek my friend's good so we can leave your village to its peace.
I'll get your friend's clothes back too if you really want.
Inconsequential.
You were doing so good.
I didn't get this talk.
So back to the blankets.
Yeah, so I cannot help you. I mean, it's like, it seems pretty final. So with that, we're going to jump over to, let's see how sorry, go ahead, Lork.
Do I have to roll another insight? I'm curious, is he holding back, or is it that like he's just can't help it?
So that first insight check, you got just like, you don't even have to how do I put it, to try to decipher or garner anything from this statement, that like you've just gathered his general nature is not like, when you speak 3 words at a time, you're not lying.
We're both like that. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're just on that.
Right.
And may we speak with one of the members of your establishment to seek information from within?
You can, but you may not. And you actually, that's what he says. But what you garner from that is he has no problem with it, but he cannot allow it. He has a job to do. So it's like, you can talk to someone, but I'm not going to introduce you to anyone. Like, my job is like, I'm not supposed to let you in or let you talk to anybody, but I don't give a shit. It's I
turn to Bjorn and I said, we wait. And I just nod to the Firbolg, and then we just wait outside. Like, I just hunker down to wait outside the door.
I'm just very confused. All right, big guy.
You see this kind of eye roll from the Firbolg, and it's this little bit of like, he thought you guys were on the same page, and now you're causing problems for him. And he doesn't do anything, but it's just like,
no, well, rather than waiting outside the door, like I would get that. I would wait where we're not his problem.
Okay. And that's totally fine. So let's see Brother Radek's big diversion now.
All right. I'm going to start preaching right now.
All right. So you walk back into the big tent, and it is the exact same situation it was before. 2 waitresses, bartender, that manager floating around. The only difference is there's 2 people having lunch, but it is like pretty dead in there, very quiet.
Before we walk in.
Shit. No, it's late now. No, like, I'm thinking it was still like barely 12 by the time you're done with Teddy.
Probably
and come
3,
back
4.
down. No, I mean, it's 12:30, 12:45. It's like lunch rush. So no, I take it back. There's probably 4 or 5 different tables of people, 3 waitresses. There's there's people. You got at least 20 people in there now.
Okay. Before we go in, I'll stop. Say, now, Alistair, I don't think that we should go in together. I think that would be a giveaway if you were seen in my company at the same time. So I will allow you to enter, and then I shall count to 10. I will begin at 1, 2.
I understand. I can count.
And then when I reach 10, then I'll come in. And what I'll do is I'll try and find a place that would be opposite of wherever I might think this entry to, wherever the down below is, and I will start my preaching. And when I do that, you should probably wait until 1, 2.
Okay, I can fucking count.
And then go, so that you give me enough time to grab everyone's attention.
This is never gonna work. Do me a favor.
I've got the utmost of confidence in you, son. I know you've got skills. I don't think you're gonna fuck up.
Do me a favor. You got a little something. Can you come here for a second? Let me get this for you.
All right, I'll go in.
I pull an eyelash out.
Ah! now.
So I may need this later. I put it in my pocket.
Why didn't you pull your own eyelash out? That's just mean,
It
son.
seems like it would hurt.
If that ends up being a material component, I love it.
It is actually
It's
for the
fantastic.
invisibility.
It's fucking fantastic.
So I'll say, well, all right, go on in, and then I shall begin.
Fair enough. So I'll walk in, head
All
to
right,
the
trying to
bar.
be stealthy or blend at all, or you're just walking in?
I'm just gonna walk in.
All right.
They already know
so-
me there, so I mean, there's not much I can do.
Yep, a couple of the waitresses notice you. They just
Just give a wave. I head to the bar, see if I can spot where the the back to the to the cellar.
Oh yeah,
would
you
be.
can find it. So there's like you're pretty confident anyway that there's to the right side of the bar there is one door against like the. All right, so you're looking at the bar, like the wall that runs behind the bar, where like all your liquor would be, and you're talking that wall to the right of the bar. There's a door which you, from your knowledge of just being in taverns, is almost always the door to the kitchen.
Right.
Like there's the wall, and then behind the bar is the kitchen. Then the wall goes to the right. So like picture a corner. You got your corner on one side of the corner. There is that wall to the kitchen. Right on the other side of the corner, there's another door. You would figure that probably goes to the basement. You don't see any other doors around here. There's stairs going upstairs. But then there's like a hallway that goes down, and there's doors off of that, but you assume those are probably rooms. But that's, like
Okay,
you
so
figure
I'll-
one
I'll
of those two doors goes to the basement. The other of the two doors goes to the kitchen.
Okay. So I'll just take a seat, and if anybody comes by, I'll order a little light snack for lunch to see who goes through the kitchen door, and then just an ale because I'm assuming that'll be at the bar.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long, and the bartender comes and he takes your drink order, and then when you order food, you see it is the door directly behind the bar is the kitchen, and he hollers your order into the cook.
Okay. Oh, and I say, out of curiosity, back in the kitchen, could you see? It's a fairly common ingredient, but can you see if they have any gum arabic?
Friends, I have come here today.
All right, so you've come in. Where are you, Radek?
I'm gonna come in the front door.
Yep.
I will first attempt to discern where the entry to the basement is, because I don't want to be I want to draw attention away from that.
Sure. Give me a general perception check. Alistair was kind of at the bar and close to it, so I just gave it to him. But
11.
11. You see, it's the same thing. Pretty much same deal. With an 11,
Okay.
it's one of those two doors. There's two right next to each other, and
I'll stand closer towards the front then.
sure. And then, it's kind of back right. So anywhere front, and the door is on the front right. So if you right now you're front right compared to back right, you could cross to the left if you really want to put space between it. But
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll go to the left then,
sure.
and then I'll just launch into his sermon.
Okay. Give me I'll accept performance or religion, I suppose.
Well, we're definitely not doing religion.
What?
How are you a cleric with religion?
Because I didn't take it. All I know
What
about is a
cleric
bomb.
doesn't take religion?
Here,
That's fucking true. You're gonna be quoting them on to people. They're like, "That's not true."
You better hope you don't find another Amon worshiper.
well, then that's when he's got to teach me, and I got to borrow his books and shit.
That's it.
Realize I can't read it, and then have him read it to me. So, just
for the record,
I'm
Radek's
gonna-
working knowledge of Amon is things that one person told him in a single conversation. It's
well,
as
most of it, I
10%.
Oh
I got out of a vision that was given to me by Amon. That's where I've gone from. Because I don't get my knowledge of Amon out of books or nothing. I get it directly from my Lord.
So he had like some verge of going bad meat one night, and then had a crazy dream, and now he's a fucking priest.
As if this scenario were not tenuous enough.
Less charismatic version of Martin Luther.
This is where, it's like he got his powers after that, though. So I think what it was is he was talking, Amon was maybe talking to somebody on the other side of the building where he was at, and he got residual. and then because of his devotion, Amon was like, "Man, what the hell?"
All right, fine. We'll give you some
We're gonna have
powers.
to explore Radek's origins at some point. This is gonna be fun.
There's a lot going on there. Yeah.
To make it fun, I will roll my religion, which is at a -2, just to see what I would have done. Two. Okay, so there. Now let's try my performance, because that's what I'm going with. Here it is.
5.
Even better. So by being bad, I'm still causing a diversion.
Oh,
so what happens is like you start talking about Amon and people look up at you, and within like 3 seconds determine that you're just another religious crackpot zealot, which are fucking everywhere, and just go back to their meal.
And that's when I'm trying to look. Do I have Alistair's eyes? Is he looking at me?
Facing the other direction with my
Excellent.
head.
That's all I need.
Like this.
So long as he's facing the other direction, then I go, all of you are damned. And I'll do that flare. In the air.
Nice. So side note, no one is more ashamed of your terrible performance than Alistair, because Alistair is a performer.
Yeah.
So it's like he can appreciate the fine points of like how you garner a crowd's attention and how you keep
You learned nothing from last night, basically, is what I
And like last night, you made note that he was like surprisingly charismatic, and then he just today, like he gave a very good sermon, and then this was just garbage.
Maybe it's because I'd been drinking a little.
It requires drinking a little bit of fairy fire, and we're all good.
Yeah.
Yes,
that could have been it. Yeah, very much so.
Well, fairy fire sounds like it should be a drink all on its own,
right?
Actually, yep, fuck it, it is.
It is, yeah.
That's
like a hardcore version of absinthe.
Right. Yeah, it's like orange instead of green. Fairy fire. Or no, it'd be blue. Blue, I suppose, would be the appropriate, because that's the glow that you emit. Oh, we're frozen. There it is.
Are we?
You're back.
Oh, no, Adam, you can't sit that still.
I was reading my character sheet, trying to figure out how to get out of this mess.
Well, I'm hoping that was the cue. When I let off the flare, man, you got to go. Go. You got to get that stealth roll on and get up in there.
I'd take I mean, does anybody paying attention to this, Glow?
So you're going like, yes, but you're going to have, it's a very small window.
And here's the other thing. Since I have, because now that I am 4th level, I took,
I would hope you would keep going with something besides just one little quick 30 seconds. Bam, and it's over. Like, I mean, it's not like Batman dropping a smoke bomb and then he's gone. You know,
I totally didn't up my character to 4th level, but I'm gonna do that right now. I'm taking magic initiate.
You're the one who told me.
I know, right? Basically, what it is that I'm taking the produce flame and control flame cantrips because I'm going to take the feat magic initiate. So I'm taking those from the druid craft so that I get more fire stuff to play around with. So then what I'll do is I'll create like some balls of fire, and I'll like create images and make like a bird out of it, and like start telling a story about how Amon turned into a firebird, and then start going crazy with it.
That's you know what I will do is I'm not going to use the same one because I already know that's a 20 and I can look at it, but I will since it's an after the fact thing, I'll give you a second chance at your performance roll.
Okay. Here we go.
It's a little different than his preaching. It's a spell.
Right.
It's
a 20.
There you go, and that's a 20. Where if like he had said that right off the bat, I would have given him advantage. But since it had already been rolled,
I get you.
But yeah, and that like so people like looking at it like what a fucking asshole, and they go back to their meal and they like you scream at them and there's
Now
a glass
he's
of
juggling fire.
It's like, oh, damn! Then he starts making a picture of like hellfire.
Right, and he starts juggling these balls of fire that turn into birds and fly around, but like he's still juggling them. They're just like flying around and landing in a hand and then flying around, and it's like,
Right.
oh shit, oh okay, and then like he starts. It kind of like broke the ice, and he gets back into his Amon shit, and they're like kind of half listening, half watching, and he seems to have the room's attention.
All right. Once that happens, I'm gonna make my move.
With
22
advantage.
stealth.
Never mind.
I don't need it.
All of that was. You know what? Roll it anyway because it's a contested roll, so you never know. It might help. You might need a 23.
That was a natural 1. The second one.
All right, yeah, you're able to slide.
Which would have been my third, by the way. Technically, my third natural 1 today, but.
So the other on Tuesday, he rolled. Was it 3 or 4 crits in a row?
It was.
Well, they weren't on attack. 3 or 4 natural 20s in a row.
It was three back to back to back. Yeah.
There's been like 5 natural 1s from you tonight.
Yep.
I normally roll these natural 1s a lot more than the natural 20s, but
right.
Tuesday night.
Luckily, that natural 1 was on advantage and not disadvantage. So
that would have been great.
I'd rather waste it now.
Yeah. No, it would have been like the natural 1 there, if it actually mattered, would have been like, you got in and no one saw you. You're like, all right. And you just fucking slammed the door. I'm safe.
And I yell from behind the door, Radek, I'm in. I'm going down to the cellar.
I can't believe that worked.
Good work, buddy. Good work.
Right.
All right. So Adam's in the basement. Alistair
Adam's in the basement with Donna. Yeah, so I'm gonna walk down and try to look for the fake wall that I heard about from Lorik and Bjorn.
All right, so yeah, without too much trouble, you find the wall. You can see that the casks are filled with some sort of medieval mortar or caulk or something, just like filling those spaces between the barrels, which is very suspicious. But I need an investigation check to actually figure out how
to work the barrels of caulk.
Exactly.
12.
You're at it for 10 minutes, and you're still not sure. Give me one more check. Actually, well, give me one more check with advantage. Sorry.
All right.
Oh, never mind. The 14 is good.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're looking, and it really is like you can't figure it out. And then kind of in frustration, you kick one of the barrels, and it's empty. It's kind of odd.
What?
An empty barrel? Because, it's just, one of these, like, it's the only, like, you double check and you tap the surrounding ones. It's the only empty one.
Yeah, so I will.
So one small motherfucker sneaks through that barrel.
So that's like, actually, these barrels are pretty good size. So picture like those stand-up cask barrels.
I was picturing like.
No, yeah, yeah. So anyone who's like, like those barrel, like whiskey barrels,
Like a
whatever they
Jim
turn
Beam
into
bottle,
furniture that are like 3 feet high, big around. That's what all of these are.
Turn
It's
them
like
into
100
furniture.
big.
See, I was
barrels.
picturing like the mini kegs.
Yeah, no. These are big.
No, I got what you mean. Yeah.
Someone's actually making wine here. And
Right. And then I'm not going to make you roll. Like your current investigation is good enough. Once you kick it, it's enough where you inspect it and you realize that the front opens. Like it's not a sealed barrel. There's like a door to it.
All right, I'll open it.
All right. So you look in. It's an empty barrel, but you gather it's probably the same thing on the other side.
Now I'm going to climb through.
All right. We're going to come back to that one in just a second. We're gonna touch back in with Bjorn and Lorik. You guys are waiting outside the fancy fucker. Fancy furbolg. Fancy canopy. Thank you.
Oh, as I go in, I as a cantrip, cast a message. Because am I still within like 120 feet of Radek or no?
Yes. Does message need line of sight?
No.
Then yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it's just 120 feet. So Radek hears, in his mind.
Oh wait, never mind. Go ahead.
This is the first time this is ever happening.
It
Radek,
is,
so
yeah.
This will be fun.
It's a new cantrip for me. I got another cantrip.
Radek's like,
I'm in.
You got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You might not want to let him know it's you.
Yeah.
You could
No,
really-
I just say, hold on. How many characters do I get here?
I think it's just like a couple sentences, but you can cast it repeatedly, so it's not a big.
140 characters. It's just like Twitter.
Yeah, Old Twitter.
Well, it is medieval.
Yeah, it actually doesn't say. Because I was thinking of the other one, the one that you could do over like anywhere in the world.
Oh, so yeah, no, this I'd say 2 or 3 sentences.
Yeah, I'll just say, Radek, you did it. I'm in. I'm going through the barrel.
Praise be Amon. You know about it too. Guide my friend Alistair. Guide him.
I then sent a message. You can't reply to this message.
What?
The anti-knot.
Right. Anyways, then as a bird continued to fly, and he saw little.
Actually, you can reply. That's why I just say no. You can't. You gotta stop fucking talking because you can't reply. I can't hear a word you're saying. There's no point in talking.
Amon, I'm telling you a story right now. The bird came down.
All right, Alistair, Radek, give me a religion check now. Because so you had the initial performance of juggling fire, but now it's been like a minute or two, and substance is going to make a difference. See if you know what the fuck you're talking about.
2.
Yeah, it's the same thing I got.
2. That's about right, really.
Holy shit! Wait, he's juggling firebirds.
He did the exact same religion as before.
Wow, 2 and 11. That's funny.
Exactly the same.
That's awesome. It was meant to be.
Yes.
Don't re-roll it. His religion is his religion.
That's
Yeah,
right.
from now on, we're just gonna call it a 2 every time we need to roll a
Whereas
religion.
Jake's 6, Will is now 2.
So true.
So basically what happens is Radek comes in, starts talking all this religious shit. They look at me like, yeah, no, fuck that. Then he starts juggling fire doves. And they're like, oh, okay, hold on. Maybe there's something to this. And they listen for just long enough for Alistair to slip into the basement. And they're like, nope, he's
It's religion.
We thought he was an idiot.
Religion,
He's an idiot who can juggle fire doves. Sorry, Radek.
That's all right. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's actually on his business card.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, okay, what could I do as a next showstopper here with my fire?
I need to know more about my God. That's what
Oh, no, that's inconsequential. That's not the real problem here.
Yeah.
I need to
All right,
learn how
so-
to perform better.
But we are hopping over to Lorik and Bjorn, who are waiting outside the fancy dancer.
Fancy canopy.
Fancy canopy. That's just
Fancy
who came up with this fucking name?
I don't know.
Some fucking guy. All right, so it's probably 5 minutes at most. Like a good song. A song passes. It's such a short period of time, and a waitress comes out and comes around the corner, and she's like, you guys, you've got to go. It's all anyone's talking about inside. It's causing a real problem. Like, you would think this had been going on for hours. You've been standing around the corner of a building.
We aren't causing the bouncing problems.
I respond immediately with, of course, as our friend says, we are famous.
I just started laughing. Like, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Give me a.
I mean, we may not be Kardashian famous,
You
but we're
guys-
pretty famous.
I ate him.
Yeah, I'll give the hype man that one little line, or give me a persuasion check with advantage.
With advantage?
Yeah.
Jake helped you.
Damn.
I was like, he's
Oh,
not
right. I was like, wow, what did I get an advantage from?
He basically did the you said something, and he was like, yeah.
He became your
You
flavor.
either have a 4 or a 0. A 4 or a 0, which is probably actually
You're like,
fairly
you are
accurate.
famous. And she's like, yeah, you are famous. Ever since you've been in this town, you've been a famous pain in my ass. All right? I don't like my job, but you don't need to make it any more difficult
Oh, you don't like
than
your
it is.
job? I'm sorry. That actually answers a question I had.
You've been waiting here all this time to find out if she liked her job or not.
Right.
I have a question about your job. Actually, that's the thing. It's not specifically your job, but it's the place of work.
She just wants you to go. If it
And I just hand her a coin, gold coin.
No, she doesn't take it. She's like, what do you want? It's not mine.
We were just wondering if anyone happened to wander back in this establishment from 3 to 5 a.m.
We were broomsticked,
Yeah.
and we were wondering if perhaps the culprit may have come your way.
Yeah, all right. What'd you get? You get robbed? You get roofied?
Our friend was probably both. He woke up naked with nothing.
All right. Give me the gold.
I hand her 10. Another 5.
Like 15?
Yeah.
Don't play your God all in one place.
That's more than she sees in months.
One would have done it.
Very much Bjorn.
All right. So she looks at it and then looks at you and she's like,
Maybe these guys aren't so bad after all.
all right. Yeah. She's like, all right. Look. Yeah, that's she's so annoyed with them and they gave her a month's salary.
Probably.
All right. Here's what you're gonna do. I can tell you, I didn't come on until early this morning, but your friend got robbed. Look, there is. I've been working here for a while. I've seen things. There is a man who comes in almost every other night, and I don't know that I know, but I know.
All right, so you have no proof, but you know.
He drops off money. So, if somebody were to steal something, say someone were hypothetically to rob your friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, he would come and he would bring it to my boss, right? I know this man. I didn't come on until 5, and around 6 we got real busy. But I can tell you that I did not see that man at 5. He did not come in here at 5. He could have come in at 6. I didn't. I was busy. I might have missed him. I didn't see him, but I might have missed him. He is a man. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That is.
What does it look like?
I'd help describe anyone we know.
I'm sorry. I misled you. His name is Jeff. He is a stock boy. Not a stock boy. Technically he's our stock boy. He doesn't stock shelves. He's a money launderer. He's a between man. He's not the thief, if that's what you're thinking.
Okay.
But I can tell you that nothing. I didn't see him around 5. Nothing came
Nothing came in around from 5 to when you were done.
Right. If you were metagaming, you might say that the Tranquil Canopy, whoever works for them, did not score at 5 o'clock.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They might have scored at 4 o'clock. I wasn't here. I don't know.
but
Maybe
they were either the early bird or the one right after we passed out.
they were.
That's
I
basically what I'm
don't
getting
like. I don't know what you're talking about. The DM would say that he was either the
Well,
early
no, yeah,
bird or 6 o'clock. He was not.
Yeah,
5.
makes sense. May I ask you another question?
Sure.
Why are we not allowed in your establishment?
Alistair could have told you that.
So do you see the way that I am dressed?
You are dressed.
And she's dressed well. Like I don't know if Lorik would.
Yes, you are wearing a lovely dress.
Right. So you see how my dress it's made of silk. You see, and it's got embroidery, and it's visually appealing. Do you understand that? Well, what you wear is very functional. It is blue collar. It's not very appealing, and it shows that you work with your hands instead of your mind. And it is not indicative of the clientele that typically visits the fancy canopy. Do you understand?
I just smiled and pat Leor.
Only soft-looking men are allowed in your establishment.
We
And
Sure.
women.
yeah. But now, gentlemen, this
Lorik just
this
is
too much.
nodding to himself as though he's just like, yes, he's just figured out quite the puzzle.
Yeah. So now, gentlemen, this
Mystery
is
solved. Let's go.
right.
Exactly.
This is too much gold, guys. I appreciate it, and I'm going to take it. But what I would like you to do,
For future reference, you could have got me for a lot cheaper.
what I would like you to do is take this 5 and go find my mother, and she explains to you where she lives.
Yeah.
And she said you can find your mother. She'll be sitting out on the front porch. She's always sitting out
Give
on
it
the
to
front
her.
porch. Give her this 5. Ask her to help you. I have to work. I can't. But this, you've bought more help than I've been able to give. So go see her and see if, she knows people. She
You are a good woman.
I go, thank
I
you.
know.
I didn't catch your name.
I know that. Oh, I'm Katie.
Nice to meet you, Katie. Bjorn Twice Crusher. And I just start walking towards the rear.
And I am Leok Thorlokai. And my service is yours should you need it.
Well, thank you, Luke. But please.
Oh, I'm already
please
going.
go.
Like as soon as I
Yeah,
get
I say that and I follow Bjorn.
To leave her
Yeah.
to figure out what his services are.
Yeah.
That's I gotta go.
Tell you what, no one better fuck with her. That's what.
There you go.
You mean like literally, or
Both.
Anyway, if she comes to me and
Like
says
the
it's a
figurative
problem,
way where it's being a friend. Like I don't, I don't fuck with her. Once they're
anyone causes
outcast,
a problem,
isolated.
and she informs me of the problem, I take care of it. She's a good
There you
woman.
go. All right, so
I've
let's
met very
cut back.
few good, honest people, and she's one. So that's that.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna hop over to. Well, no, I'm already there. I'm gonna get to the map. So you guys are leaving the fancy, whatever the fuck it is.
Canopy.
Fancy
canopy?
I was like fancy companion. Nope.
The red
Fancy
one.
companion.
Broomstick.
The
Yeah, Red
fancy
Room's the
companion
broomstick.
is actually a much better name than fancy canopy.
Fancy companion.
Broomstick
actually.
companion.
This went from the
Exactly. Like yeah, if this inn were a brothel, it would definitely be the fancy companion. All right, so
we
this
went
house
from the
that you're
tranquil canopy to the fancy companion.
So that's like the. Oh, so it's Sally's house.
Well, Sally was in this general vicinity,
okay.
but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe yeah, whatever. If I had done that one and Sally before, then Sally was a different house.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
But I just went with the most western house. That's probably my problem. But yeah, all right. So you guys are heading up there. Meanwhile, Alistair, in you go.
I'm going in.
All right. So you open the door,
Yeah.
you pop your head in,
Yeah.
and you find a very startled thief.
Oh shit.
Not just well, yeah. So
what does it look like? I know who they are.
It's brown.
All right, Brown. How big is Brown?
Brown is not big. I mean, not small, but he's like 5'9", 150 pounds.
Oh, right. I'm like 5'10", 150 pounds.
Right, you are like he is. He is Alistair, not big.
For point of reference, I think I weigh 150 pounds. I'm like 410.
I mean, I put you probably more $180.
I don't remember what it was. I can look, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I picture dwarves as kind of like that, like chimpanzee muscle, where it's just denser.
Yeah.
So like you don't look huge, but you're solid.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna whatever the D&D rules for dwarves are, you're at least 220 pounds.
I'm pretty sure that's actually close to it. But
Yeah.
whatever. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Don't matter.
So anyway, I just
Oh,
say
to put that in perspective, Lorik is 7'10" and around 300.
You're only 300 pounds. That's not enough
According
pounds.
to D&D rules.
Yeah, no. That's 7'10".
by the
I
way,
don't
Glorian69 did give us about another 8 cents that he reported for chimpanzee racism.
They've got an extra muscle in their leg.
Don't forget that he also said he basically gave us the Ravanna version of the Lion King song. It's pretty great.
Yeah,
the
that is
Lion
pretty
Sleeps
good.
Tonight, not the Lion King song. You're going to confuse our audience.
Our audience is just Rob. I think it's
We've got 8 people watching right now.
well, thanks
Oh,
everybody.
Glorian cheered 200. He is from the South as well.
Yeah, man. The South will rise again.
That's Jamaican.
Wow, that was.
That's
I know that you
That's
said that you're
that's
terrible at
embarrassing.
accents, but you've.
that is a Joey Tribbiani reference. I don't expect anybody to get it, but I have a wife and she watches Friends. So.
Oh.
When you watch Friends.
All right. Anyway,
Well, I don't anymore. But there was a time when it was near and dear to my
yeah,
heart.
I'm with
There's
Gloria
a dark
69
time
on
in
this
my
one
life
where he
when I
says,
used to
"Wow, what the fuck?" Yeah, I'm with him on there. Yeah.
All right,
So anyway,
you guys are just great at sucking me out of the story.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
our.
have no idea where we were. What's going on?
Yeah. So I found Brown, and he's.
Are we fighting the dragon yet?
Yes.
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 Brown the dragon.
How many giants
If
have
by,
you killed?
if by dragon you mean brown. And
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the "What can Brown do for you" references.
I don't
Means
get
nothing.
Yeah,
That's
I'm very-
yes, that was their whole slogan. What can Brown do for you?
it. I don't know what that means.
What are you talking about?
Is this before my time sort of thing?
It
Or is
must.
this like a
Is this a UPS? Is that a UPS
Yeah.
slogan?
Yeah, it's UPS.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
really?
was actually I do vaguely remember that from when I was like
Yeah,
5
what can
years old.
Brown do?
I
for
don't
you?
watch commercials. UPS, if you'd like to be our sponsor, we would love to have you.
Glorian69 says it tipped us another 25 of the cheers thing. It says, "I'm great at sucking everything. Last one. Carry on."
Are any of these going toward our
I don't know.
St. Jude's?
I don't know how that works.
We'll
So
find
that's
out.
For the kids.
All right. Anyway, I say, I'm just here for me stuff. If you don't have me stuff, there's nothing to worry about. If you do have me stuff, then we're gonna have ourselves a bit of a problem here.
Make a persuasion.
Persuasion check. You're frozen a little bit. By which I mean you're
Yeah.
frozen completely. Okay.
Track. Sounds like something I would do.
23. If only he weren't frozen, we would know what was going on in Brown's mind right now. Puzzle seeker. That's what I heard. Edith Swayze. What?
So what happens is
I find all my stuff. I get it back. He just gives it up back to me with no issue.
roll and make a 5 or greater, quick, before you get them frozen.
Hold on.
Quick, do
All
it.
right. So,
13.
can you hear me?
We can now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're back.
So, you're like real quick with the words, and you can see he's already got a dagger, and he looks at you for a second, And he puts it down. He doesn't put it down, but he lowers it and he gestures for you to come in.
I mean, I'm gonna come in because I don't want to sit in this hole. So.
Sure. And
As it were.
as you can, you're kind of close to him, so the room is like it's kind of but wide, if that makes sense. So like when you walk in, it's only like 6 or 7 feet deep, but it's like 20 feet wide.
Okay.
Okay, small, but like not.
Yeah. And he kind of like points you like away from him. And you can see he's got a hand crossbow resting on his lap, and he's just he doesn't want you close to him. There's a chair over there, so he's kind of like just suggesting you over to that chair.
I'd rather stand if you don't mind.
And he just like let's have a conversation.
For fuck's sake! I'll sit down in the chair.
It's obvious to me that you have to charge him. And
don't come into my fucking secret hideout and act like, oh, I'm just borrowing a cup of sugar. Like,
well, you know, I'm in your secret hideout. You're a fucking thief.
Yes, you're starting off wonderfully.
I'm just here for me stuff. Do you have me stuff or no? I don't care about what you do at in the shadows.
He's like, so he doesn't give a shit about your stuff. He has like a very secure secret place that just got blown up, and that's like you're just like your questions are just kind of like a blip on his radar, and he's trying to like secure things. He's like, all right.
So here's the deal. You either have
and you
stuff
watch
or...
his eyes.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
I'm gonna fail that. 18.
That's not bad.
That's great.
Shit. All right, so you notice his eyes dart like kind of to the left, and you see that he's got like a chest, and yeah.
Okay. I say, look, here's how it's gonna go. We're gonna be all nice and friendly like. You and I are not enemies. You either have me stuff or you don't. If you do, you're gonna hand it over. No harm done, no foul. If you don't, you're gonna help me find it, or at least point me in the right direction. If you don't like either one of those options, well, I know a bit of magic. And you don't want to be on the other end of it. Plus, if I get out of here, then the authorities are going to know all about your sacred stash. If you give me what I want, I don't care about you or your shite. I don't care about your secret stash. I don't care about this secret place. I don't care about this whole fucking village. I just want to get out of here. Get myself some clothes where I don't look like a fucking maitre d'!
So it trailed off at the end, but for the beginning statement, give me an intimidation check. So it started out as like a threatening thing, and then just like, I'm having a really fucking bad day.
Yeah, 17.
All right, so he kind of like he doesn't brush it off, and a few seconds pass, and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
So he probably does not have your shit.
Said, my name is Alistair Grant, hero of the Hag, freer of Berkner's Fart, man without me stuff.
So you got robbed last night. So that what?
Yeah, that basically sums it up. Yes.
Well, it wasn't him. Goodbye.
All right, look, I didn't rob you. All right, I caught an easy mark at the Fancy Companion last night. I was in bed by 9.
Okie-doke. Now,
but we have the problem.
Okay.
1, I'm not going to help you. I don't ever want to see you again, but you know where I live, and that's a problem.
That's a problem for you too here, I'd say. I don't know what that accent was.
I
was just new accents all around. Everyone gets one.
The Oprah have accents.
I mean, I got one of those coastal Cleveland accents going.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Those things to get wild.
Is that like half Ohio, half California?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those
Oh, no,
Cleveland
it's Eastern. So it's like half Ohio, half New York because it's the East Coast.
Yes, because it is East Coast.
Hey, LeBron James, I'm walking here. Oh, yeah.
Those who are going to listen to that, you had to be here for the early part
That
of
was
the
a
show.
sports reference. I snubbed Josh.
That was my favorite part. Josh was after the fact.
Who the fuck is LeBron James?
Oh, that's why I was saying what. I was gonna go with it. That's-
So, Alistair, you're in a weird, tense sort of standoff
Right.
with the thief and his
So I say, well,
house.
look.
I'm sorry to interrupt again. Glorian is asking what the St. Jude's goal is.
I just answered him.
All of Rob's money.
Every
Specifically.
penny.
We just want all of Rob's money. That'll be enough to cure all the cancer.
I mean, we're going to get it 1.4 cents at a time.
Yeah, there it is.
So,
Yeah, so
but
I
so
just
he
say,
did tell you.
yeah, and I heard him, and I'll say, again, I'm going to tell you, we're not enemies. We're friends. And because Charm Person is just verbal and somatic, I'm going to cast that on him.
There you
So,
go.
again, it's another DC Wisdom, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, Wisdom save DC 14.
Dun, 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 the suspense. He's been rolling the dice for 24 minutes.
Yeah, what the hell? Oh,
He just fails.
Oof.
Yeah, that's all that matters, just as long as he failed.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a +2, so that was a 13.
Oof. Well, say so. Now, maybe we could talk a bit as pals. People who understand each other.
Sure. Yeah. I didn't take your stuff. You didn't take my stuff. I don't see.
Yeah, there's
any
nothing
problem.
wrong here.
Right. 'Cause you'd never tell anybody where my secret spot is, right?
No, of course not. Of course not.
I'm sorry for that. And he puts his hand crossbow down. I'm sorry for all that. You caught me off guard. You know,
I understand. It's a tense situation. Who would expect someone to crawl into your secret hiding place?
right. Maybe in the next time we should work out like a secret knock
We
so that I
probably
know
should.
it's you.
What do you say? Sort of a... How about something like that? It's
That's
a one,
a bit. I'm not
two,
a drummer.
a one,
Maybe
two,
just
three.
like there's something simple.
That seems like how anybody would knock. Like, I think if anybody knocked, they would knock just like that.
It was 3 exactly spaced.
Like, I feel like it's a knock, knock, a knock, knock, knock.
Well, exactly. Like if I'm gonna knock her, I'll go.
Well,
I'm
that's
not
too
gonna
many
go.
knocks. No, that's too... Nobody knocks that quickly.
Yeah,
When have you
the
ever
pumpkin
knocked
is
that
like
quickly
one.
in your life? You never did.
You know what? You only have a minute for this spell. We should.
I was just-
I have an hour. I have an hour. I could talk about this knocking for another 59 minutes.
All right, so you spend about 5 minutes and you hash out the perfect knock that you can both agree
Yeah.
on.
So anyway,
And it takes 2 hands though. Is the only thing.
so here's the thing.
It's like drum roll, 1 part, shave and a haircut.
So here's the thing. I really do need to find me stuff. Who typically works the screaming bloomstick? The screaming. Say hello to my
friend. Try it again.
the screaming broomstick.
I was completely
Say
waiting
hello
for
to my
broomstick again.
boomstick.
Well, we all do. I work the broomstick sometimes.
Well, any idea who was there last night?
I mean, the only one I can tell you who doesn't work the broomstick is Trish, or Triss, because she works for the broomstick.
Huh.
Yahtzee.
Interesting. No wonder she was there last night. Probably heading out. And what do you know about this Tiro fella?
Oh, I never heard of him.
No, really.
Who's Tiro?
Do you think
friend
he's
of
a?
yours?
Well, he's not.
You
a
get
friend of-
robbed too.
No, I think he may have robbed me. Do you think he's part of the Thieves Guild? What do you know about
I don't
Abner?
know much. Abner. He's a fucking sloppy thief, is what I know. He
No,
drinks
really?
too much. He doesn't do his recon. He's just a last minute hope and a prayer. God favors drunks and fools. That's the only way Abner is still alive. You found my place, and good on you. That's something. But everyone, Abner just walks into the southern wood. He's got a fucking trail, like his own trail. He's carved out his own trail into the southern wood. That's not what thieves do.
No, that's a fucking terrible idea.
It's day one shit. Different paths, light footsteps. Take a tree. You're a fucking twat.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this as a friend. You work here at the what's this place called? The Big Tent, yeah?
Well, yeah, of course.
The
For
fancy-
now.
And
For
yet
now. It's
your
temporary.
secret hiding place is in the Big Tent.
Well, that's the thing, is it's convenient, right?
Well, it's convenient.
And no
but
one comes.
eventually, someone's gonna find you out. I would suggest having a second sacred hiding place.
Oh well, I do. Like, do you see any stolen stuff in here?
Well, I mean, there's the chest.
You saw my chest. Huh?
I mean, it's
Don't-
right there in the
don't-
corner of the. I'm not gonna tell anybody about the chest. We're friends.
Wait, yeah, of course, but don't touch that chest. That's my booby trap chest.
Oh yeah.
There's no gold in there. There's poltergeists in there.
I don't believe there's poltergeist in there for a minute. You can't lie to a friend. Is it really
Boy.
booby trapped? Did you really trap it?
I'm kind of torn now because you're my friend.
I
but
feel
I've
like
never
if I
seen
op-
anybody open it.
Now I really want to open the chest.
I kind of really want you to open it too. But can I get like halfway in the barrel before you do?
Is it really booby trapped with poltergeists?
Would I lie to you?
I mean, that's
it's my-
fascinating.
I know.
Where did you get it?
Well, it's just a regular chest. I had to shove the poltergeists.
How
in
did
there.
you fucking shove a poltergeist into a chest?
There's like a dead goblin in there.
It's like I didn't really shove the poltergeist in, but I helped, and it was very dangerous.
There's 100% a corpse in that shit.
Well, anyway, this has all been fascinating, and it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Covered in gold. Like a dead orc.
I said, well, I tell you what. I've got me stuff to find. I said, it's been a pleasure here. I'm going to go. I'll check you out soon. Maybe we'll get a drink one day.
Man, we gotta steal that
come back
box of
anytime.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure.
Out of character.
Of course, don't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt, but out of character, if we can steal that box of ghosts, it'd be fucking sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
No way, that's not just a
to
box.
have a box of ghosts.
No way.
Look.
There's 100% of body in that
Yes.
shit.
Only
That box would
box
be
of
awesome.
ghosts.
Look, now
These
we
are the
know where
things
it
I don't
is.
consider. They might steal the box. Like, never in my planning this did I think that he would end up telling you that his booby trap was a booby trap, and maybe you could steal it and make it your own booby trap. And I just love it.
I mean, next time we're broomsticks, bam! Someone gets a face full of poltergeist.
Enjoy your ghost.
I think that's what that's the ghost of the broomstick. Like, fuck you guys. Which one of you died?
Fuck you guys who know how to party.
All right, well, I'm gonna
So yeah,
leave.
this is like, of course, don't tell anybody where I live.
No, of course not.
That's-
No, our secret is
No.
safe with me.
It's just full of ghosts.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
take care. It's good meeting you, and I'm sure we'll see you around for a drink.
Oh yeah, okay. right, so we're going to cut over to Bjorn and York, who are going to visit
The mother.
the mama
nice-
waitress.
The nice waitress's mother.
Yes.
Does she have a
All right,
box of
so you get there, and she's just sitting out on her front porch, which is facing west, just waiting to watch that sunset.
This is like for old person things.
What a
It's like
metaphor.
1:30.
She has hours to go.
What a metaphor. It's just an old woman sitting on her porch waiting
Oh,
to
wow,
die.
yes. Oof.
That's exactly. Yeah.
We're just like asking an old woman for help.
Yeah.
Garrus, I don't know
And,
about this. You're hitting a little close to home for me.
Oh, you're in your house though. You're not on your front porch. It's too cold.
Valid. All right.
All right. So as you guys approach, she greets you with a very warm smile, and she just kind of has like a quiet old lady way about her, and doesn't say anything, but just
I just reach over and hand her the 5 gold and just like gentle about it.
sure. And she's kind of hesitant to take it.
Yeah.
I just go,
Here's a dwarf in
Cass-
spiked armor and a Goliath following him, and he just walks
Right.
up silently handing her gold.
Actually, so that's worth noting because it's not like 2 people
Yeah.
approaching her, and she just gives them a gentle smile and is totally fine with it. Doesn't bat an eye.
Two
It's
intimidating
2
motherfuckers.
monsters for all intents and purposes. Like if they had a different alignment, which you have no way of knowing, they'd be monsters. And she can't
Well,
tell
I mean,
that they're
she's
good.
sitting on her porch waiting to die. She's content with this situation.
This is what
Yes.
she's been waiting for, really. She knew it was coming.
I mean, we're lucky if she doesn't just like, have you come to take me?
Right.
If anything, she's very confused with the fact that I'm paying her.
Are you the Reaper? Are these for my?
I was just gonna say that. Put these on your eyes as you travel down the river Styx.
No, that's her toll for the boatman. There
Yeah.
you go.
Right.
Yeah, I combined the river Styx and what they did in the Old West to keep their eyes shut. It was-
A bit of both. That's what I heard was the coins on the eyes were to pay. That was the fee
Yeah,
for the boat.
that's how it started off. You put coppers on the eye to pay the
So I
river.
got it right then.
Hey, you pay Con.
Boondock Saints, you have never led me wrong before.
Anyway, so like, Katie sent me. She's told me to give you these and that you knew people. Our friend got broomsticked.
Honey, you speak in riddles.
Do you know a Katie?
Let's level.
She's like,
Let's level set. Yeah, do you?
and she's like, oh, Jesus Lord, I'm gonna need some tea.
I think I might need some of this tea as well. I'm very confused.
Come in. And do you guys hold anything back from her? Like, or, we're getting close to the end, so I'm gonna try to role play a little bit less of it, and just cross we're frozen. You can't hear shit I'm saying.
We
can
can
hear
kind of hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
This is the clearest you've
It
sounded
was
in
all
some
frozen
time,
on my side, and I got the
It will look
notification.
very still.
Yeah, I mean it's like you're a ventriloquist, but we can hear you.
Right. All right. So what I'm going to do is just like over the course of the next 20 minutes, she just asks like very wise old lady questions and just spill your guts to her. So you just like.
But we do it in a very kind of asinine way, as we are wont to do.
Oh yes, yes. But it's
Yeah,
so she gets
it's like talking to kids.
right. She gets how you met each other, the fort, where you came from, having the great night, waking up robbed, going and seeing Teddy, like everything. And then she's like, no, honey, that is just terrible. Your friend sounds like a very nice man helping these people take back the fort from those evil fucking North
At which
Earthians.
point Lorik is like, well, he's an okay man.
I wish I was here.
Now,
because
honey, you need
I-
to think about this. He may seem like an okay man, but he has done great things, and great actions make great men.
I like this lady.
Alistair would
Yeah.
love this woman.
We're taking. You know what? We're taking her with us. When we go.
We're bringing her in the box of ghosts. She's out
As
there.
it should.
We're bringing an old lady on tour. But no, at which point, like Lorik is just like kind of rubs his jaw, thinking on what she has to say.
Oh, yeah, that's why we're looking for his stuff.
All right, now, Sugar, I wish I could help you more. But what I can say is if you think one of these fellers might have gone to the west, I have been out here since 6. I get up every morning. I have my morning ritual, and 6 a.m. sharp, I'm out here on my front porch, just enjoying the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody went west in that 6 o'clock hour, I would have seen them.
Mm-hmm.
No one went west at 6. That's all I can really help you with it now. But let me talk to. I do, like my daughter said, I have friends. I'll ask around for you, and I'll see if I can't find anything.
That would be most kind of you.
I didn't get your
Do
name.
you have dinner?
Oh, sorry, I'm Magdalena. You call me Maggie, or no, really, just please call me Maggie.
Okay.
Maggie, do you have preparations for dinner?
Oh well.
We're gonna take her because she liked me. We're not gonna proposition her.
No, I don't know what she said.
Sorry, she kind of should. Well, I do. I've got something cooking for me and my daughter. But I'd only prepared enough for the 2 of us. And
no. I don't know if you fancy it, but I have some fresh rabbit.
Fresh my ass! Hanging from your belt for 4 days.
There's like flies all on it.
Fresh
For
as
you.
it
Fresh
goes.
rabbit.
Meat that you've been eating in a medieval world is any fresher than that.
Now I thank you, but I have a very specific rule with meat. And if I can eat the entire animal in one sitting, it is too small to eat, darling.
And if it's not refrigerated immediately after killing.
You are not familiar with the medieval world.
That's how you build up your immunities. Now, these rabbits she's not batting an eye at them. She just only eats big game.
That's fair.
Well, thank you, Maggie, for your time. We'll leave you in peace.
All right. So you
I make sure she takes the 5 gold.
Oh yeah, no, she's once she explained the situation, she's happy to take it.
Mm.
But yeah. So we'll say between you guys having tea with her and getting over there, the timing is going to be relatively close. That you guys are all going to be like, by the time you come back to the big tent, will be roughly the same time Alistair and Radek come out.
What did you find?
Let the crazy shit commence.
No one went west.
At 6.
At 6.
So
that's it.
That's all you fuck.
I just figured out who's in the secret hideout.
Yeah. Well, this is
Found the hideout.
this is
Where
what
we can find a box of ghosts.
We found out a bunch of shit before he ever got there. He wouldn't even know how to get to the box of ghosts.
I know.
that was Bjorn.
No one went west at 6.
Yeah. That no one went west at 6 is really all Liork has uncovered.
That's valuable information.
Yeah.
I befriended a giant.
And you
blue
also,
guy.
but you also finally realized why they wouldn't let you into the nice tavern.
Like, we're being real about this. That's all Leo gave a shit about.
That's true.
I mean, obviously he wants you to have your clothing and stuff, but you know,
Clothing and stuff.
this is the bigger mystery to him.
I love like clothing and several thousand gold worth of
Stuff.
actual money and
Yeah.
magical items is stuff. Like, oh yeah, your stuff, whatever.
Well, I mean, he could survive without all that, but I mean, without the clothing, man, it's.
I have a fucking healing bomb that was stolen.
You're talking
By the
gibberish.
way,
New York knows nothing about healing bombs.
Yeah, that heal. Yeah, you're never gonna find out either. I can tell you that.
It's true. Healing bomb. It's BALM. You gotta rub it on.
Tiger Bomb.
Huge
So true.
oxymoron. It explodes and heals you with the shrapnel.
Right. I love how New York is basically like, oh yeah, you and your little car, and Alistair's like, it's a fucking Ferrari. It's got 4 wheels.
Now,
Well, I mean, if you can't afford security and you can't afford to replace it, you shouldn't fucking own it.
for the record, Josh, it froze in the funniest way I've ever seen. You had one arm like
Ta-da!
So
That's
here's,
why, yeah, we're losing our shit.
so
Anyway.
here's what I found. All we know is that Abner was in the big tent all night. We know that Triss works for the Screaming Broomstick, which, by the way, the initials are BS, which is pretty appropriate. I found.
SB.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm dyslexic apparently.
Apparently, it's late onset dyslexia.
D Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
That's nice because it scrolls D's. You can't fuck it up. And D Fridays, everybody.
NDD. Brown. I found Brown, and I found a secret hiding place inside of the big tent. It wasn't him. We know that it's not in the basement of the inn, which is Brown. We know that it's not a place out west, or at least we think it's not.
It's not Trish.
We
So the
know
only-
it doesn't seem like it's down south because that's where Abner goes, and he was at the big tent all night. So, I think it's Tiro working for the Thieves Guild.
with a lead pipe in the laboratory.
out in the out east in the Forest of Thorns or whatever it's called. Yeah, the Forest of Thorns.
Weren't we trying to avoid the Forest of Thorns?
Well, we were until all my fucking shite was there. Yeah.
Yeah, he does have an awful lot of valuable stuff. Wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of valuable things.
Yes, he does have his clothing missing.
Well, he
More than
had
the
like a
clothes of the-
bandolier of shiny daggers, if I remember.
Yes. It was more than that too, but yeah, that was part of it.
You had that bag of pillows.
Well, I mean, the pillows are very important, of course, as long with the blankets, and it was a bag of blankets and pillows.
All right. that is true. So, 2 things. Alistair, give me that one more time. Who do you think it is? Where do you think they went?
I
Who do
think
you
it's
they work
Tiro
for?
out east at the Thieves Guild outpost.
I can't even remember their names, to be honest. I know it was Brown.
There's Brown, Triss,
Trish.
Abner.
Mm-hmm.
Abner works down south, and he was at the big tent all night.
Yeah. And Trish works for the place where we
for
got robbed.
for the Screaming Broomstick.
Mm-hmm.
Brown,
So I'm assuming
Brown wouldn't, Brown, I made him my friend.
yeah, he would have told you.
For an hour.
Yeah, he got me mad.
Yeah, he's gonna be mad when he finds that out.
So I would say
and he's down in the basement. We don't think anyone. So I'm assuming. I mean, it could be that Triss is out west, and that because also Abner knew Triss and Brown knew Triss and Abner.
Yeah.
Didn't know Tiro. So I think it's Tiro at who's a Thieves Guild dude in the outpost.
Or it could have been, keep in mind too, the only other option is they could have worked for the fancy place too.
That is true.
Yes, it could be.
But we don't actually know the name of that guy.
All right, so here's what I'm going to allow you to do. Under normal circumstances, I would just say pursue and see. But just for the sake of it's the end of the session, and so you can have some closure and know. Enter a formal guess, and I will tell you either if it's right or wrong. And if it's right, then you know where to go and and if it's wrong, there'll be a penalty. So
I think that's
like whenever you're ready, give me your millionaire final answer.
I think it's definitely Tiro, but is he a thieves guild or is he out west?
I definitely think it's Tiro because I can't remember the last one anyway, and he's the one that Brown didn't know, and he had cleared the other two. So.
Well, he didn't
clear, but like we know one didn't go west at least, and
Abner was at was at the he was at the tent all night, so he was probably
definitely.
So he
the
was
only one who wasn't cleared was Tyrion.
Right. So Abner was at the tent casing that. Triss went back, and somebody went back early, but Brown went back early. But Triss must have been back at 4. Oh, no, she was either 5 or 6, maybe. But no, because she was at the place, and it's not her, because he works there. She was probably at 4.
So she was seen at 4. So, yeah, she was either 5 or 6.
Yeah. But she was...
she works at the place.
She works at the place. And what time did we say? We know that 6 a.m. we know that no one went out west. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah, after 6, no one went out west.
Right. And what you gathered, so the way, like, the waitress saying that she saw, what's his face? Abner leaving the Big Ten at 6 means he was 6. Like that was he left because that's when he had got his you're able to infer with Petty's information so that he was 6.
We don't really know who was 4 yet. Then Brown. Wait, what time did Brown? No, I should have.
Brown was early.
Brown was early.
Didn't Triss get back to the place that she worked at 4?
After 4.
After 4. Okay.
Right.
But either way,
there's a trick there though. Think about that one.
Yeah.
So if she was after 4, it means she wasn't in her night. She wasn't 4, at least 5 or 6. Think about that.
Yeah. So she's 5. She's 5.
She's 5. There you go.
Yeah.
5. So it had to be
at
Tiro.
4 a.m. it was Tiro, but did he go to the guard post or did he go out west?
Right.
Yeah.
And just as you are like putting all this together and you're just hinged up on that one last little thing, a little boy comes up. He pulls on the cloak or I guess it would be like the pants, like the knee of the pants of York.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just kind of look at him and yes, kind of scowl.
You're York?
Yes.
Miss Maggie told me to come find you. She said you had gold?
She said I have gold?
I reach in my pocket and go, what do you...
I mean...
I wasn't there, but you're supposed to give gold to her mom.
We did.
I need gold. I need gold.
Yeah. I go, okay. So I just reach out and hand him...
Do you just give everybody that comes to you a handful of gold?
This is why he's giving out gold now.
He starts to cry.
I give him another 2. It's like, oh.
She said you were a nice man, but nice. Like he basically just goes into this tirade of he thought nice men that didn't hit you. She said that you were going to give him gold, but he didn't believe it, and. He woke up. He goes into this really long story about how he's been begging his father to get a wolf, and his father kept saying no. And then he found a stranded wolf, and he said he could teach it, but he could raise it, but he had to get up and feed it and help it hunt.
All that jazz.
So he has been getting up really early every morning before the crack of dawn. And this morning he saw a man carrying a large sack headed into the woods at 4 a.m. He just barely noticed it. The guy was like, it was just something caught the glint of his eye, and he, like any other day, he wouldn't have noticed it.
North.
So that like it was in the woods. Like you go, like Bert, like Abner's an idiot.
Oh, sorry, I mean east. We changed it out because it's east.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah. So it's in the woods. This is where he is. Taros, the Thieves Guild, and the Outpost.
That'd be
final answer.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yeah. You guys got it. Good
job. To be fair, it was my answer like 10 minutes ago too.
I know.
It was.
And
I just questioned.
I give the kid another 4 coins.
There you go.
I don't give him anything, and I hope Leork doesn't remember he gave me 20 gold pieces.
I remember. You said you were going to give it back.
He's a son of a bitch.
That's why I didn't give him shit.
Alistair, Adam, 4 being the one to officially like ring it in and solve it and bring it up. The next session, you have a +1 to everything except your ability scores. That's spell DC, that's AC, that's all rolls, attacks, damage, saving throws, just everything.
Nice. Will you remind us?
Except skill.
No, just Alistair. I'll remind you that Alistair has a +1 to everything.
Yeah, right. Just to rub it in. Yeah.
He's all right. He's gonna need it. He's fucking naked.
So do I find my stuff, or is that what we're doing next time?
I learned this from Verbal.
Jake said, I'm sure Jared said something funny because Jake is laughing. But
yeah.
He said, and with that, he just rips off his maître d' outfit. I learned this from a Verbal.
You're naked.
It all comes
oh
off
yeah, so Brother Raddick, by the way, your shirt is torn to shit.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
It's like functional.
And that's part of probably why your performance was so garbage.
Yeah, you look like a homeless guy walking in.
Yeah. I'm not going to
tell you something about God.
So true.
Like the collar is torn so bad, it's like one of those off-the-shoulder shirts that girls wear.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
It is. But that's okay. I don't mind.
So way to go, guys. You solved the mystery. This is very good. Now next time I know I can make it hard. I wasn't sure.
Oh, this made sense.
So now, do I actually find my stuff, or is that for next time?
That's for next time.
No, you know where to go.
Okay.
Like you know where to.
We got to raid a Thieves Guild hideout.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And you as of now, all you know is general Eastern Woods location, but you feel like Teddy probably could give you a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
You got all those +1 bonuses, and you're going to send us in the right direction to kick ass.
It's everything except skills, you say.
Ability.
No, everything except ability scores. So your strength doesn't get increased by 1. But
yeah. So anything I roll basically is a +1.
Yeah.
Everything you roll and your AC and your DC and your hit points. Like everything except ability scores.
There you go.
Cool.
Boom.
So, get ready to take it next time.
Yeah.
So you got that 1 extra hit point.
One. It doesn't matter with the +1s because now I've got a 2. All right. Cool. That was fun.
All right. And be sure to tune in 7 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Turn to the Bandit Kingdoms.
There you go.
For charity.
Time to go and crawl into the bed.
Yeah, but join us. We're going to be doing the first part of a charity stream for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Yep.
8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, since we've switched over now, until 12 p.m. And then it's going to continue for another whole bunch of hours on the Lord Gasumba channel, then the Greyhawk channel, then back to Lord Gasumba's channel.
Yep.
So check it out. And check us out every Tuesday night.
And then be sure to tune in on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
For Return to the Bandit Kingdoms.
9 p.m. Eastern Time for Bandits. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Check out Adam PL on YouTube. He's got a whole bunch of good shit there. Reset Switch, how to make a show, the supers is coming.
We're doing some more filming this weekend for Super.
Oh, no S, just Super. Sorry, I had Super.
Yeah, no, it's just a Super. It's just one. It's just a singular Super.
That's for the sequel.
Yeah.
There you go.
Supers. Put the S on the end.
But you got to make it. It's a 2 that like somehow looks like an S. You know,
Yeah.
Right?
I was picturing that thing we all drew on our like paper bag textbook covers.
Oh yeah, the old like, yeah, that S.
Yes.
Been there.
Well, I'm not excited.
That S though. Well, it's because you're a little boy.
Well, no, it happened. I just never drew it because I just didn't care, to be honest.
You know what?
He's too young to have books.
Exactly. Yeah.
The rest of us did care enough. Okay, the rest of us did care.
Well, more or less, it was more as probably I cared, but not enough to learn it because I was terrible at art. So I was gonna be like,
oh yeah, dude, it's just 3 lines and then 3 lines below, and then
you
connect it.
See, this is actually the first time it was ever explained to me.
It's so 1, 2, 3.
Universal thing because you could do it if you were terrible at art.
Yeah.
I think this is something that we should do, with an instructional video.
Where is it?
This is what happened before cell phones.
Hold on. I'm going to do it over here where it's bigger.
Yeah, I'm just way to go on figuring that out. I was like, it took me forever to make it, and
this is kind of what I was expecting.
There we go.
All right,
you did great. You guys did a good job.
You did great, Adam. Good job.
Yes, man.
Yay, Adam! Yay!
All right, so what do you guys think of that? Because that's like a new
That's what
mechanic.
I was actually expecting and hoping for. That was good.
Awesome, cool. All right.
I think Jairus was asking about the session.
Yes.
I think Josh was talking about the S.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for.
I was saying what I wanted to hear.
It's like I finally saw the S, and I don't ever have to play this fucking game again. I'm out. Fuck y'all.
On that note, we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow morning, and then on Tuesday, and then next Friday.
Exactly.
Good night.
Everyone, wish my wife a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Peace out.